Run it up.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Kobe 2024, the Para-Athletics World Championships, a delayed championships having originally supposed to have taken place in 2021. But due to COVID, as we all know, things change and it has eventually come to this quite wonderful city on a lovely day for the opening of 9 days here at these Para-Athletics World Championships. 18 sessions in total. The Universiade Memorial Stadium, holding 36,000 people, built back in 1985, and a quite wonderful venue for these championships to take place in. The crowds will be flocking in over the coming days. 18 sessions in total, double sessions for all 9 days, so there'll be plenty for everyone to get their teeth into. Loads of school children already in, soaking up the atmosphere. And we'll have an opening morning, which is going to have 6 medal events in the taking. There'll be 7 in the evening, 13 all in this opening day, and there are many, many reigning champions who are going to be here as they look ahead to the Paralympic Games in Paris later in the year. The weather's set fair. We had a windy day yesterday as the athletes were here preparing. Press conferences, photo opportunities, everything was there except the weather, and that has turned up today. Over 1,000 athletes from 104 nations will be taking part, and this of course is the first time the World Championships in Para-Athletics have been held in East Asia. We've had them in Asia before, in Dubai and Doha, in Doha 2015, Dubai 2019, but in East Asia, after the success of the Olympics and Paralympics in 2021 in Tokyo, we're here in Kobe. 18 degrees, I'd say we'll take that after yesterday and the wind was here, but the morning so far has been thoroughly wonderful, and we expect it to continue at least over the next 2 or 3 days, and hopefully over the full 9 days, finishing on Saturday week. So the crowds and athletes already working their way in. We'll be underway with 3 field events in the first half an hour before we open up on the track. That'll be the men's 5,000 metres T11 complete visual impairment category. That's always a wonderful event to watch. Not too warm for them either when they take to the track. The first field event will be a seated throwing event. We'll talk you through that in a little while as to what happens there. China, of course, have topped the medal table in the last 4 World Championships. They'll be well represented yet again. The track looking quite nice. We went down and had a bit of a look at it yesterday, and it looked a little bit bumpy, but it still looks like it's fast enough to provide us with a few championship records and world records, we hope, as those athletes get ready for the women's discus throw F55 seated category. We'll get going with that shortly. I'm Tolson Tollett. I'm joined by Steph Reed and Will Downing. And Steph, let's bring you in as we wait for this first event to get underway, the women's discus throw F55. It's great to have these championships here in Japan.
It's fantastic for so many of these athletes. This isn't their first time in Japan. Lots of them were here competing at the Tokyo 2021 Paralympics, and it was interesting in the press conference to see just how many were so excited to come back. I mean, the Paralympics Japan hosted were amazing, and when you consider the circumstances, they were absolutely phenomenal. But the one thing the athletes really wanted to experience was the crowds, and I'm so happy, particularly for the Japanese athletes. They are now getting that chance in front of a home crowd. This is a big deal.
Yeah, big deal indeed. And as the athletes get paraded out ahead of the opening field events in the morning, and well, you've been to Japan before, you've seen what the crowds are like. They really enjoy the atmosphere of para-athletics and athletics in general, so we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and tell you what, we've got crowds, which is great to see considering the circumstances of the Tokyo Paralympic Games 3 years ago, and we were arriving here about an hour 15 minutes ago, and there were already crowds outside, which is really brilliant to see, really gratifying. So we're starting at 9 a.m. Japan time every morning. That's 1 a.m. UK and Ireland, Portugal, 2 a.m. Central European summertime, Central African time as well, 8 p.m. Eastern time, US and Canada, and that's the start time all the way through every day. And the evening sessions, 5 p.m. each day. Just about 1,050 athletes we have represented here, which is just slightly down on Paris. There are a few big names who've decided not to come, but not very many, mainly in the longer distances, the likes of Marcus Hu, Catherine de Brunner aren't here, Kimberly Alcamada as well, but a lot of the big names are Amanda Duran, Brianna Clark, Fleur Young, Hannah Cockcroft as well, who was talking about what she was looking forward to. Holly Robinson as well, though not in the javelin. We will be seeing her in the discus, but not this discus coming up, the women's F55, men's javelin qualification F57, the women's long jump T20, the intellectual category, first track final on in half an hour, the men's 5,000 metres T11, pretty much all the recent major medalists are in that, the women's shot put F41 athletes of short stature, and we've got the frame running as well, the race running finals, men's 100, women's 100, and they will round off the opening session in around 2.5 hours time. But yesterday it was immensely windy, it was cold, it was overcast, but it's a lot more pleasant, a lot more clement today for a championships that was supposed to happen around 3 years ago. But obviously we all know what happened, and we don't need to go in again into what happened, and we're all here now.
And if you are new to parasport, you can go to paralympic.org, of course, and you can find out all the different categories. We will mention them as we go through this. The women's discus throw, F55, this for limb deficiency, leg length difference, impaired muscle power, or impaired range of movement. So that will be the opening event that gets us underway. As I said, you can get more on all the different classes and categories if you head to paralympic.org, and you'll get both the track and the field categories in that one. A field of 9 will be going in the women's discus throw F55. This being the seated category, just to let you know, there'll be 3 throws by each of the athletes before the next one moves into place. So they'll be seated, they'll have a tie across their legs, they'll have to make sure their buttocks stay correctly on their seat or it's a foul, and there are the 9 who are taking part in this one. Guerrero is the reigning champion. Guerrero there from Mexico. There's a couple of Mexicans taking part in this one. Their season best is well, it's failed to match a personal best or go anywhere near it this year for Guerrero.
Yeah, Rosa Guerrero, the champion from Paris last year, plus Erica Castano of Colombia won the silver in that. Dong Feijia of China was so close to the medals there, the reigning Paralympic champion, the back-to-back Paralympic champion, Rio in 2016 and Tokyo in 2021. But I mean, I can tell you it's 9 a.m. in the morning, and we've got a nice crowd here of a few hundred already, and there's a few on the far side. So we're hitting about 4 figures already. So, hey, we're looking forward to what we'll see for the evening sessions here in Kobe. 1.5 million people live here. 7th biggest city, just next door to Osaka, which has got its own athletics pedigree. 2007 World Athletics Championships held there. on the what we used to call the IAAF circuit until they changed the name, the able-bodied circuit, if you like. Though that's a bit euphemistic, but hey, it's a lovely day. And we were told, by the way, we should do our best to try and get into the mountains. Great views from up there. Yeah, not much chance of that. But we've got a little hill behind the goal to the right. It's a big football stadium as well. It's a big football city. Vissel Kobe were playing on Wednesday night when we were arriving, and they won. They're top of the J-League here. There've been quite a few rugby union internationals played here as well. The All Blacks played here famously in 1995. Don't think I need to tell you the result. But a lot of the greats are here. I will tell you the bronze medalist from last year is not. Diana Kremina of Latvia, a brilliant regular medalist, is not among the field here, and she's just about the only big name who's not competing in this F55 final.
And this is the first time, Steph, that the Paralympics and the World Championships have been in the same year. You've been speaking to some of the athletes. How do you think they're going to find it?
It's been really interesting to hear the different opinions. So there's a 3-month gap between the World Championships in Paris and any athlete that's come to Kobe. You have to factor in they have probably dedicated about a month's worth of training to this event. If you consider the taper and if you consider the time that they've come to get over the jet lag. But I would say there's no better preparation for a Paralympic Games than a rehearsal like right now, what these ladies are about to do.
Well, there is the reigning champion, Guerrero Cazares of Mexico. Will be looking to pick up yet another gold medal for her nation. She won bronze in 2020 in Tokyo over here, and also bronze back in 2017 in London at the Worlds. She was a gold medalist back in 2019, the Pan American Games, reigning champion here at this event. One of 9 who are set to go in this one. I guess going in the first event as well, there's extra nerves in that, but at the same time, at least you're getting your event out of the way.
No, this is exciting. You get to open the world champs. Now, I would always say as an athlete, I prefer to go in the second morning because inevitably you're still learning your way around the stadium. You know, things can always be interesting on the first day, but they have gotten an absolutely stunning day. We were here yesterday, and my goodness, the wind. Actually, we saw a few umbrellas out because it's very sunny, and those umbrellas would not have lasted yesterday. But a few of the locals did say, we're in the mountains. The weather is going to be variable, and this is an outdoor sport. It's part of it.
Yeah, temperamental, I think, is a good word to explain how yesterday's weather was. It was certainly much different to today. So if we look ahead to our field, we just saw her a moment ago or two. Guerrero of Mexico, next to Dong of China. Dong just missing out in the medals last year, finishing 4th in Paris, but is a twice Paralympic champion. The lady second from the right there from China, winning in 2016 and in 2020.
Now there's a starting lineup of 9, and if you're doing a head count, there's only 7. But I think the reason why we're waiting is, yeah, we've got a few warm-ups happening. And Navarro of Mexico is a really good athlete, by the way. 22.54 she's gone out to. The world record is 27.80. That goes back 16 years to Beijing, the Paralympic Games in 2008.
Just about the time she was born. Not too different, 17 years of age.
Major championship debut for her as well. So they're all sat there waiting for the presentations. We're not going to have all of them together at once, I'm afraid. So they're going to do the introductions now. Guerrero's been waiting a long time for this, actually, having claimed the silver in the most recent Pan Ams in Santiago last year. She had won it in 2019 in Lima.
Yeah, the one we don't have going in this one, as you mentioned, the reigning champion there, it's Agili of Nigeria, who does not start in this. So we'll go with 8 who are starting in this opening event of these championships, the women's discus throw F55 seated category. So Agili doesn't start We do have 7 athletes you can see counted up there. We also have 1 who's in the seated position at the moment, getting ready to go as well. So 8 will go in this one. She's had quite an introduction, hasn't she, the reigning champion? This is about the 4th time she's been introduced to the crowd. Her thumbs must be sore. Season best, 24.61. Lifetime best, 27.17. Fei Zedong of China will go, who just missed out on those medals last year. As I mentioned, double Paralympic champion, though, and reigning Paralympic champion. Sarah Mickey of Canada, 8th last year in Paris. And Castano Salazar, who will go there, silver last year, looking to improve on that. Castana of India, looking to increase her lifetime best. She finished 6th last year. Ake of Morocco, the African record holder, 7th last year. And Alamari of Bahrain, 12 months out between 19 and 20. And then we have this lady who's ready to go in Navarro Hernandez of Mexico, the 2nd of the Mexicans, along with the champion Guerrero, 17 years of age, and she gets to start off these World Para-Athletics Championships. Does the lady from Mexico, born in December of 2006, a lifetime best set this year of 22.54. Agili, the 23-year-old who was going to be competing in her first major championships, does not start, from Nigeria. So we raced along the line, back to the beginning, back to the champion, and we will get set to go in a moment or two's time. And I guess, Steph, before we get going here, that complex situation where you have to bring an athlete in and make sure they're set to go, it does take a bit of time, it does take a bit of patience from the crowd.
It does, and you can see there the straps that are across her legs. That chair is also strapped to the ground, but this is a big deal because these throwing chairs are what give the athletes a stable and secure base. That's what allows them to have the maximal effort, and you have to be confident and secure in that before you start.
I should point out this is a major championship debut for Navarro of Mexico, who is only 17. She was not in the Pan Ams. That was a straight shootout, 3 in that final in Santiago last year, where the gold went to Erica Castaño with a championship record of 26.21, which is only about a metre and a half off the world record. But she got strapped in really early. Clock is on her, of course. She's had her practice throws. I think she's had an eternity to have her practice throws, to be honest.
She's been sitting there for a while. She might have a sore bum at the moment, but she'll be fine. The clock is counting down. We just saw a moment or two ago in the foreground. So I guess we can say that this young 17-year-old from Mexico will get us underway in these World Para-Athletics Championships.
Actually, just what you were saying a few moments ago, Steph, they have the honour of getting the World Championships underway, as they did in Paris last year, 2090 for Navarro. And they have the luxury as well for the first half hour of these World Championships of being the only event on. So it's all about them. And there's not every field event that has that luxury because of scheduling and so on. But there's a nice crowd beginning to grow over the far side. You'll see them streaming in. She's got that again over 20 meters, has Navarro. Maria Guadalupe Navarro in her big time bow at a major championships. And if you are watching in Mexico, very good evening to you. If you're watching in Europe, thanks for staying up. We appreciate it. I know she will as well. So 2090 to begin for her. And that is 21.48. Now a lifetime best, by the way, 22.54, set earlier this year. There have been the usual Grand Prix, which have been on in various places, Dubai and Sharjah. There was one in Marrakesh a few weeks ago, Gisolo in Italy. There's normally a very big one in Mexico. Jalapa. That one tends to have live TV coverage in Mexico too, which is very impressive. This throwing, that is again beyond 20 and visually, that looks to be up around 21:48 again.
I've been so impressed at watching Navarro. She is just 17, and she has sat there with so much composure. Even when the volunteer came with the discuses, she took her time, and she decided to choose which one she wanted, and she is now building on her series, getting better with each throw. This is exactly how you want to debut at your first championships.
They do have the champion in Rosa Guerrero. She's going to be the last to go, by the way. All the throws at once. So she will have the opportunity, Guerrero, to launch out and expand. There's a bit of a chat going on, but 22.04 is exactly half a meter off her lifetime best from earlier this year, and this is really nice progress. The graph is going up for Maria Navarro.
Yeah, you get that first 3 throws, and then you get to have a rest, and then you get to reposition yourself if need be. You get to have a little drink there, as you can see Navarro doing now. So all 6 at the same time, but the first 3 there before you get a break, and then you go again. And I guess there's a good thing, Steph, about going first or going later on, is that you go first, you get everything done, you get out of the way, but then you're sort of waiting on other people to see what they can come up with. And you could be in a medal position and get knocked out towards the end by someone else.
You're right. It's an awful thing to know that you aren't going to then have the chance to respond. However, strategically, this is me personally, I would always rather go first, because Navarro will have had the chance to perfectly time her warm-up. She knew exactly when she was going up. The other women right now they're in the shade, they're waiting in the tent, but this is a long time to wait before you actually get to go on. So there's benefits both ways.
Scoreboard pressure, I think, is what we like to refer to it as, and that's what she's got at the moment. Improvement on all 3 throws, 20.90 with her first, 21.48 with her second, and 22.04 over that mark of 22 metres with her third throw. So her best is 22.54, so she's 50 centimetres short of that lifetime best at the moment, which she set this year. So 50 centimetres to make up. Here goes number 4. Well, it's certainly got out there around that same mark again. I don't know whether it's going to be up to 22.54, but it looks around that 22-metre mark. So we'll just wait and see what the judges come up with. But it looked like a very nice throw. It's got a really nice technique.
You can really see there the way that she uses her upper body and her core. So for the able-bodied throwers, you have the ability to use your legs to get that momentum going. They are doing all of that work using just their upper bodies. It was fascinating to watch them up. You can see her there trying to get maximum range of movement out of that shoulder.
Yeah, the hardest part about this event is that if you do lift your buttocks up off the seat, you will be disqualified. The judges watched that very, very closely indeed. And she's gone 1 centimetre further than her third attempt with number 4. So 22.05, she does improve, and so far 4 throws, improvement on every single one as she gets herself set for number 5. So a wonderful start for the young Mexican so far. A much more experienced compatriot, who's the reigning champion, will go last of the bunch later on. So they're bookending this opening event of these championships are the Mexicans at number 1 and number 8. A few deep breaths. You can see a little bit of wind blowing down there in her favour. Well, she's launched that one, and that one surely is going to be even further yet again. To the naked eye, it looks as though it's going to be up there around that 22.50 mark, but we'll just wait and see what that score comes back with. But it certainly looks like she's improved yet again. So at present, the weather's warming up. Navarro Hernandez's body is warming up, and she's improving each time as she goes along, and there you go. So 22.63, she set herself a new lifetime best. She's improved it by 9 centimetres. So what a throw on number 5.
You just got there the slightest hint of a little fist pump. Still, her face is all business, but what a way to start your World Championship debut with a personal best.
And the best thing now, Steph, is that she can go into it with absolutely everything on this last one because she's 9 centimetres past her lifetime best. She's improved with every throw, and she'll loosen up now and give it absolutely everything on throw number 6 as she winds up, gets rid of it. That's not going to be further, I don't think, than her number 5 throw, but she'll be really happy with how she's debuted here at these Kobe 2024 World Paralympics Championships. An outstanding start by the young Mexican. Throw number 5 looks like it's going to be her best. She put everything into that last one, put it all out there, but she's going to lead, being the first to go. 22.63 with that throw number 5. Question is, can she get there or thereabouts when it comes to the medals when we start heading deeper into this field of 8? As we await number 6, 22.11, so no improvement on that throw number 5, but you can see the coaching staff there. They are absolutely thrilled with how the young charge has got on.
They are thrilled, and they should be. I mean, let's not forget, she is just 17. She is the youngest in this field by some margin, and for women, peak strength, you're going to see it around your mid-20s, and you then have this amazing 10-year period where you can hold it. And what a role model she has in her teammate, Guerrero. As you said, she's bookending this, and she is the reigning champion. And I think that's also why the coaches are fist-pumping. When you get a standout athlete in an event, that effect spreads out, and you tend to have this concentration of talent, and we can see here that that talent is certainly coming through in Navarro.
Now, there are half a dozen athletes in this field who have got lifetime bests of more than 23 metres. The best is Guerrero Hernandez, who, of course, has that throw of 27.17, which is her lifetime best. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on the young Mexican who's just thrown to try and get a medal, but regardless of that, she'll be happy. There's Dong, who knows a thing or two about winning herself, being a double Paralympic champion at this event. She'll be second last to go in this one as the school children come in and make quite a noise in the background here. You might be able to hear a bit of rapturous noise in the background. That is those school children who are coming in, and not just coming in, but they're creating a bit of colour as well. It's good to see all in those school uniforms in different colours. There's blues, there's whites, there's reds. It's great to see the youngsters come in and really enjoy as we look ahead to Ruba Alamari, who'll be the next from Bahrain, who'll be heading out into the chair. Best of 4th back in 2017 in London for her, just missing out a medal then. So it takes time. It takes a bit of mechanics as it is to get themselves organised.
I think even this process alone, which Navarro Hernandez would have just experienced, you are essentially having to orchestrate those 5 officials there, and there might be a language barrier, and you have to get it right. And so there's so many skills outside of just the physical performance that you have to develop as a championship performer. Speaking of the school kids, actually, the event organizers have done such a brilliant job of getting children involved, and even at the media conference yesterday, we saw, I think it was 4 or 5 school children journalists who asked some pretty fantastic questions.
Yeah, there's no pressure, is there? When you're young, you can ask whatever you want because you don't worry about what the answer's going to be. They're generally quite nice to you, no matter what they ask for the school children.
Yeah, that changes after a while. I think
it does.
But, you know, that's life.
We get cynical like you as we get older. So it is a bit of a complex procedure when it comes to seated events in parasport, and it does take a little bit of time. So if you are new to this, you just have to show a bit of patience and bear with us. This is the only event taking place at the moment. We do have other events taking place. The women's long jump T20 is taking to the stage at 9:25 this morning, so getting underway in around 7 or 8 minutes time. And we also have a qualification event for the men's javelin throw F57 as well, which is getting underway, and the final for that one will be tomorrow evening. So looking for qualifiers to go through in that one. So it may seem like it's a bit of a slow start, but it will get underway with the first track final of this meet, the men's 5,000 metres T11 complete visual impairment category. Those athletes will go with a guide, a compulsory guide in that one for the T11 complete visual impairment. Then we head out to the track further for the men's 100 metres T47, the 2 heats in that one, and the T12, which is the medium visual impairment category. There are 4 heats for the men's 100 metres in that one as well. So loads to look forward to, and further races in the women's 1500 metres T11 as the visual impairment category takes centre stage on this opening morning at these Para-Athletics World Championships.
And you can see here, this is exactly why all of the women take all 6 throws at once, because if you think about the logistics and practicalities of moving each athlete into and out of the circle, I mean, we would be here probably for a good 8 hours. And we got a great shot there of some of the athletes doing almost what looks like short sprints, because this is quite an explosive event, and having that sprint explosion is really helpful.
I always find it a good idea to start these events early in the program, whether it be in the evening session or in the morning session, to make sure that you get them all the way through, because sometimes you can have a field of 15 people who are going in these type of events, or whether it be the club throw or the javelin, whatever it may be. So it's a better thing to get these events early in the morning. Now there's those school children we talked about. They're having a whale of a time already, and we've barely got anything underway. So Lordy knows what they're going to be like when we have a few events happening.
And actually, even for the Tokyo 2021 games, despite the fact that there was no crowds, they still got the school children involved, and several of the athletes upon arrival, whether they were at their pre-games training complex or at the games, there were handwritten notes and pictures from all of the students. They are building a generation of new fans in this country.
Yeah, amazing what happens when you get yourself on the TV as well, isn't it? And that's what they're doing now, because they've seen themselves on the big screen, and they've decided to let everyone know that they're there. Hi Mum, hi Dad, hi everyone. So we're almost ready to go with Alamari of Bahrain, lifetime best of 23.69, a season best of 23.53. So she is just about set to go.
Yeah, she's had an interesting time of it. Normally she's pushing towards the medals. Ruba Alamari of Bahrain, she's 33 now. She, in the last 3 of the last 4 championships, she's finished in the top 5. Best finish 2017 in London, where we had those fantastic crowds. 4th spot there, 5th in Paris in 2023. 5th in the Paralympic Games as well. Last time out in Tokyo in 2021. So we've got the men's javelin F57, that's seated us on. Now that's qualification, so we'll be concentrating on that final for you. We're not liable to see a lot of that. Women's long jump T20 is coming up, that's the intellectual category. And the first track final's on in just under 10 minutes time. The men's 5,000 metres final, T11, complete visual impairment. Heats coming up of the 100 metres and the T47 for men, the low elbow or wrist amputee category, the T12, medium visual impairment. Shot put final, women's F41. Athletes of short stature. And that means the multi-gold medalist Raoult Lily of Tunisia. Plus the frame running, the race running there. That's now the T72's men's and women's finals. In that, we'll keep you posted on how Ruba Alamari gets on, but we do have that long jump action to come.
Women's long jump.
And it is the T20. Now, this is a field. Karolina Kuharczyk is the world record holder in this. Gold in Dubai in 2019. She is not in this field. She's one of those champions not represented. There is actually nobody from Poland in this field, but there is a massive, massive field of 16 in this.
Order from Portugal, Felipe Anna.
There's a lifetime best, by the way, that you see there.
Murilo Benitez, MA.
They're just going through the field right now. Ashley Telvav of Mauritius, who had such a brilliant games last time, won a whole series of medals. Lucincella Angelo of Ecuador, Tsunami Sakai of Japan, Sigrid Gudmundsdottir of Iceland, Felix Barbosa da Silva of Brazil, Alexandra Ruchkina, she's a neutral athlete, so she's got the Paralympic flag against her name, Deborah Oliveira of Brazil, Reyhan Tazdelen of Turkey, and Riao Kawaguchi of Japan. Already introduced Ezra Berek of Turkey, Zeleda Cassiano da Silva of Brazil, and Felipe of Portugal. She'll be a big candidate. Maria Benitez of Colombia, Fatma Altin of Turkey, Michaela Rostovsky of Croatia, she's been European champion and a major championship medalist time and again, and Claudia Santos as well of Portugal. 16 in it. This is going to take a while, and obviously the top 8 after 3 jumps will go all the way to the end.
Oh, we got a big cheer from the Japanese crowd as the first Japanese athlete was introduced, Sakai. And this is a big moment for her. Now, she finished 4th at the Paris 2023 Championships. And there's Sakai, or sorry, there is Kawaguchi at the end, another big cheer. But Sakai finished 4th in Paris 2023. Now, the defending champion is not her. It's not here, and that puts Sakai in a perfect position to win the first field medal of these champs for Japan.
Both of those were correct, completely accurate with what let her out. She's not her, and she's not here. We're going to see a lot of this as the time rolls on. So, we don't have Karolina Kuharczyk, who's a 6-meter jumper. There is nobody in this field who's cleared 6 meters. Ashley Telvav of Mauritius, that is a foul first attempt. And you remember Naomi Alphonse claiming her country's first medals in the T54 sprints, the wheelchair racing last year in Paris. That is a major foul. Red flag. And no joy for Ashley Telvav straight away in this. By the way, if you're wondering about Ruba Alomari, she is not thrown yet in the women's discus F55. We were seeing her limbering up.
Well, Telvav is an interesting one as well because she's a 400 and 800 metre runner, so this for her is slightly different. Now, you'll see a lot more of this in para-athletics where athletes chop between certain events, which they wouldn't do in able-bodied. So you wouldn't see a 400 or 800 metre runner generally doing long jump when it comes to able-bodied athletics. So in para-athletics, it becomes a little bit different. So Ezra Berek of Turkey will be next to go. She was 5th back in London in 2017 and 2019 in Dubai as well. She was 4th in the Tokyo Paralympic Games, missing out on a medal there. So she'll be looking to put the first legal jump of this long jump T20 intellectual impairment category on the board.
Athletes are required to wear eye masks and eye patches to prevent any advantages through visual perception.
So Barrett hits the board, and that one is a foul as well. So 2 red flags, 2 jumps.
Now, these women have been out on the field of play for quite some time now, and that's because they need the opportunity to set up their runway. Now, can you imagine the win yesterday and the nightmare that would have been trying to get an accurate runway? In the first round, ideally, you're hoping that that work is already there and you can then go into the next jumps confident. But the first 2 athletes, unfortunately, have had fouls, which mean that the next 2 jumps become even more important because they want to be in that top 8 to get into those final 6 jumps.
Well, here's Cassiana da Silva, silver medalist, as her name suggests, last year in Paris, so looking to go one better without that defending champion, Kuharczyk here. Well, that one there looks like she's actually got a mark. So we'll have our first legal jump. White flag is given. So she'll be in the lead no matter what. She has jumped there. So Cassiana da Silva of Brazil. One of 3 Brazilians going in this T20 long jump. But we're ready for the track. We are ready for the first field event of the morning. In Karasawa, the world record holder of Japan, and her dad, Santos,
from Brazil,
both
Agripino dos Santos Julio Cesar. And the guy
big marks. But here we go for the film. And we have the T11 complete visual impairment, so all the athletes will go with a guide.
So the final of the men's 5,000 metres, T11 complete visual impairment, all with guides. 9 going in this. The reigning world champion Kenya Karasawa of Japan. The Paralympic and Pan Am champion Yeltsin Jack of Brazil. He's also the 1,500 metres world champion. Darwin Castro of Ecuador, Pan Am champion 5 years ago in Lima. And Julio Cesar Agripino dos Santos, world champion in 2019. It is a packed field, 18 men all the way across. Guides absolutely mandatory. This Karasawa is the world record holder, set in Yokohama 2.5 years ago.
Order 7 from Ecuador.
So we'll just introduce everybody from the outside.
The guide is
Darwin Castro of Ecuador with his guides David Garcia, Diego Arevalo, Pan Am champion in the 5,000 metres in 2019.
And another guy
inside him, Yeltsin Jack of Brazil, the reigning 1,500 metres world champion, bronze in the 5 last time out in Paris, and the Pan Am champion in Santiago last year, having done it in Toronto in 2015 over 1,500 metres. Inside him, for Ecuador, Jimmy Caicedo, 4th in the 1,500 metres final in Paris last year. Inside him, Shinya Iwata of Japan. Oh, what a great champ he's been in time. 4th in the 5,000 metres last year. And Samuel Kamani as well. Double champion in 2017, 1,500 and 5. And twice Paralympic champion. So underway on the inside, Agripino of Brazil. It's Eric Sang of Kenya, Fedor Rudikov, who is a neutral athlete, Kenya Karasawa of Japan, Samuel Kamani of Kenya, Shinya Wada of Japan, Jimmy Caicedo of Ecuador, Yeltsin Jack of Brazil, and Darwin Castro of Ecuador. So Agripino dos Santos going way out straight away. He finished silver in this 5,000 metres in Paris last year. He led the 5,000 for most of it, but in the end he was just pushed out by Kenya Karasawa, who took the gold. He was the 1,500 metres champion in 2019 in Dubai. The Pan Am champion over 1,500 metres, based in Itapecerica, de Serra, Coach Luis Alberto. So a lot of them have got 2 guides. He's one of those, Miguel Batista Edelson of Vila. And in second spot is Fedor Rudikov, who's making his return to international athletics, bronze in 2015 in Tokyo, the Paralympic Games of 2021, disqualified in the 5,000 metres final. He got silver in the 5 in his most recent Worlds in 2019. Caicedo moving up in the second spot. Karasawa in 3rd for Japan will get a lot of support, and Wada as well, who's currently in 5th. Rudikov in between them at the moment in 4th spot. Sang in 6th spot. A real danger he is in his own right. He finished 7th in the 5,000 metres final in Paris last year. So they're coming around with 11 laps to go. Agripino went off very strongly, holds a decent advantage. It's just sort of turned the burners off for the moment. Karasawa up and Caicedo as well. And we've got 11 laps to go.
Yeah, Karasawa is making a nice little move there. He just thought to himself, he can't let Agripino get too far in front. Now, I've seen 5,000 metres T11 events before where people have been leading by 300 metres. We saw it back in 2015, and an athlete gets really fatigued, they slip, and they fall off the track, and they become disqualified. Now, any foot off the track, they will be disqualified. Any unlinking of that tether between the athletes as well, they will be disqualified if that happens as well. So at the moment, it's Agripino in front. It's Karasawa, who's in second position, the reigning champion, looking to make it back-to-back in this Paralympic year, and Caicedo, who's in 3rd place. And bit of an even spread at the moment, Steph. That's been a real pace-off.
You could just see on those first 2 laps how carefully everyone was playing it. Some athlete guide pairs choosing to run out in lane 3 and with lane 4, and that's because there are so many bodies on the track right now. 9 athletes, each with their guide, and it's difficult to make those moves in and out when you have two bodies to account for and you're having to be the eyes for the other athlete. But you're right, I feel like Karasawa, they saw the danger from Agrippino. He's known to go out, and possibly because he may not have that same kick as the other athletes, and so you have to take the sting out of them. But they have been brought back into that main pack.
Yeah, just under 10 laps remaining there. And also Wada, the second of these Japanese athletes in this field, who picked up a 4th place last year in Paris. He's looking very strong as well. Just you can throw a blanket over the first 5 groups, but there hasn't been a real blast at the moment. There is a long way to go in this one, and as you quite rightly mentioned, with those athletes, the guides having to run with them as well, it can become difficult, and they have to make sure you're not clipping the heels of somebody in front. So at times in these events, in the visual impairment, you may have to go that further from A to B to get to where you want to be, because you don't want to be in a position. Now Rudakov looked like he was just struggling a little bit. He almost had a loss of his guide there with the tether back in 5th position or so, but he seems to have re-evaluated and gone back down the inside, and Wada's just dropped back into that 5th position now. We'll come down and there'll be 9 laps remaining when they do go across the line, and it's still Agrippino dos Santos, the silver medalist from last year, who is out in front.
Agrippino had a really good surge early on, but decided not to go too far off in front, which is probably the wise thing to do, remembering what happened to him last year in Paris when he led for almost the entire race and still ended up with the silver medal. Karasawa is right behind him, who pounced for that gold a year ago. Caicedo in 3rd, Rudakov in 4th. Very little between the top 6 right now, going down to Wada, the 4 times World Championship medalist. He, in the days when the marathons used to be part of the World Championships, the World Track Championships, he took a bronze in 2011 in Christchurch. That was the January Championships, and then at the Stade de Rhône, around the streets really of Lyon in 2013, he took the silver medal. But Agrippino is really happy where he is at the moment. So there's a situation over in the far straight, by the way, where they will swap guides, and a lot of them I think are going to do that next time around. Rudakov, who's in the neutral J turquoise, he's moved up into 3rd spot. Andrei Sovranov alongside. He is still the European 1500 meters champion from 4 years ago. He won the 5,000, but he stepped off the track, which was a disqualification. That is not, by the way, necessarily the case anymore as they come through. Alamari, by the way, 22.78 now leads in the women's Discus F55, and a succession of no jumps in the T20 long jump for women, which is also going on right now. Here's her best.
Yeah, we'll get back to that T11 5,000 metres men's event in just a moment or two's time, but here in the F55 seated discus throw for women, Alamari with her 4th attempt has a best at the moment of 22.78. So she leads the way with that 4th throw. Started off with a 21.39. Improvement for her as they've gone through each and every time, as there was for Navarra Hernandez, who went first in her opening go. She was improving as she went along, but in 4th position at the moment there with her 4th throw, Alamari, as we go back to the T11 5,000 metres.
And we've 7 laps to go in this, and it is very much as you were. Agrippino is still there, defending his position behind all comers, but a good move by Karasawa. So this is the 1-2, albeit a reverse order from last year. Wada has moved up into 4th spot. He finished 4th last year in Paris in the final. Rudakov still in 3rd spot. Caicedo and Wada swapping positions all the time. Agrippino's taken it all the way through. You can just see a swapping of the guide has happened over on the far side. That's how they do it. Just slips in. I'll take your position. And little step outside, by the way, you can see for, I think it's Sang. They decided to go way out on the outside lane, and they're going to try and make a move now, because obviously everybody's got a guide. So you've got 4 athletes who are right astride alongside each other. Agrippino leading, Karasawa in 2nd, Rudakov in 3rd, Wada 4. And now Karasawa thinking about a move on the outside, and while he's not doing that, got a chance to come in the inside. It's still Agrippino, and we've got 6 laps to go.
We have seen so much chopping and changing in terms of position in this race, and it has been exciting. We saw Rudikov make a fantastic move, and as you say, there's a lot of bodies involved. If you're going to make it, you got to pull out, you have to put in the acceleration and get back in, and that acceleration is tiring. But if you're not going to commit, you are just wasting energy. We saw Sang from Kenya try a few times to move up. They made a little bit of contact and didn't quite get there, and now people are getting alert to the fact that we're getting to the business end. You want to be in the right position, but it takes effort to get there.
Well, Kurosawa, the defending champion, has just changed his guide there on that far side as well. So he remains in 2nd position. His compatriot Wada is also there just behind him in 3rd position. So it's a Japanese 2 and 3 at the moment, but it's the man who's led from the very beginning, Julio Cesar Agrippino dos Santos, who still leads out in front, having changed his guy a little bit earlier as well. When they come down, they'll have 5 laps remaining in this men's T11 5,000 metres complete visual impairment category final. So head down across the line. It will Brazil in 1st, Japan in 2nd, and Japan in 3rd. Now the man in 3rd position there, Wada, just had a little bit of a clip of the heels of his guide. Rudikov still there in 4th position. Now, I have to say with Rudikov, he doesn't look completely comfortable when he's running with his guide. He hasn't got that real cadence that they have between each other as they run there. He's in 4th position at the moment, but they are starting to bunch up somewhat, that opening 5 athletes and their guide. So they've a bit of a distance to go as we head up just past the 9.5-minute mark. There's another guide change over there. It looks like it's for the leader, Agrippino dos Santos, again. So he's made a guide change there as well, and he's just gone slightly wider to make that guide change, but he does get back inside, you can see there, back into the 1st position. So it is Kurosawa who sits in 2nd behind him, and Wada there as well, and it is Rudikov back in 4th position, and Yeltsin Jacques of Brazil, the 2nd of those Brazilians there in that top 5, who is in that current position at the moment. But you can throw a blanket as they start to move down this straight here, and when they come past, they'll have 4 laps remaining in this final, the first track final of these championships, and it's boiling up quite nicely at the moment. So it's Brazil 1st, Japan 2nd, Japan 3rd, but heading down the outside, it is the other Brazilian in Yeltsin Jacques, who's come right around the outside. He's making a move for it with 3 laps to go.
He was 6th. He's moved up into 2nd spot. Agrippino over on the backside last time had lost the lead, and he loses the lead here. It's Yeltsin Jacques who's out in front. The 1,500 metres world champion from last year in Paris, who first medalled in the World Championships in Lyon back in 2013. Look at this surge, coming with 2.5 laps to go. He kept so much in reserve. Now Kurosawa's decided he's had to go as well. Agrippino, just like last year in Paris, led for a long time, and now he's fallen back. He had been overtaken while he was swapping the guides a lap ago by Kurosawa, and Kurosawa's overtaken him again, and now the position Agrippino's in, he's going to have to defend the bronze medal place at the moment because one is just behind him in 4th. Rudikov's fallen back a bit in 5th place. This is a major lead here.
And that was quite the move from Jacques. I don't think anybody expected anyone else to go this early, and it's great to see that Kurosawa sensed the danger, but I don't know if he has it in his legs, even with this Japanese crowd behind him.
Well, he's got a bit of work to do, Yeltsin Jacques. Now, he's a 1,500-metre runner, so when you look at it from that perspective there, he should have a very good kick at the end. But has he gone too early? That is going to be the question. Now, he's opened up a lead of around 20 to 30 metres there, so he's got a very handy lead at the moment, but he will struggle as he comes into that last lap. He will feel the lactic acid burn. He may well struggle and tighten up when it comes down there, but at the moment, he looks very, very strong indeed. So it's Brazil in 1 and 2, Jacques in 1st position, Agrippino dos Santos, and it's Kurosawa, who's the reigning champion, who's back in 3rd position, but he's being caught now by Rudikov, the neutral athlete, who's going to go past him, possibly into that 3rd position. So there is a big, big gap opening up, but it is Yeltsin Jacques, who at the moment is looking to improve on his position of last year. He won gold in that 1,500 metres and 5,000 in Tokyo 2020 in those delayed games. But he's looking very strong at the moment. He won gold in the 1,500 metres last year. He was bronze in this event. He's also a gold medalist from last year in that Pan American Games. So he does know how to run the 5,000 metres. He still has that lead at the moment of around 20 metres or so out from his compatriot, Agapito dos Santos. Now, Rudikov has moved up into the bronze medal position. Karasawa has dropped back a couple of metres behind Rudikov, and he looks to be out of it at the moment as far as the gold or silver medals go. And looks like it's going to be a race in two between the Brazilians, Agapito dos Santos and Yeltsin Jacks, who is out in front. And I can tell you, Yeltsin Jacks, he doesn't look like he's tiring too much at the moment. The gap there has possibly come down 2 or 3 metres, but it is Yeltsin Jacks who leads from Agapito dos Santos. Well, they're coming down this back straight here, and he's looking very strong indeed. A gold medalist in these events in the past, also in the 1,500 metres, but the man behind him, Agapito dos Santos, is trying to put in those big ones there to really get himself up as they come down and take the bell with 400 metres to go. It is Agapito dos Santos in second position, chasing down his compatriot, Yeltsin Jacks. And Karasawa, the reigning champion, has moved ahead of Rudikov into the bronze medal position. So there's around 300 metres to go for the leading bunch. Now, Yeltsin Jacks, has he gone too fast, too early? We will find out right now for Agapito dos Santos. He can't narrow that gap, though. They're down to around 250 metres to go. And the man out in front, Yeltsin Jacks, he looks like he's going to absolutely swan this one in. There's 200 metres to go. He's looking very, very strong. They lengthen out that leg stride. They lengthen themselves out as they come around with 150 to go. Agapito dos Santos is doing his best to try and cut that deficit, but he's going nowhere near it. There's 100 metres to go as they come down into the final straight, and Yeltsin Jacks along there with his guide is looking very, very strong. Jacks is going to come down with 50 metres to go. Agapito dos Santos, he can't cut the gap down. It's going to be Yeltsin Jacks who's going to take the win here. So we Brazil, who take the first gold of these championships, they'll also take the first silver as we look down into third position, and it is a world record of 14.53 for Yeltsin Jacks. Well, he won gold in 2020 and he delayed Paralympic Games in the 5,000 and 1,500 metres. He set a new world record, and he's won gold here in the opening event, the T11 5,000 metres at these Kobe 2024 World Para-Athletics Championships. What a run, what a performance, what a start to the game on the tracks.
That was such an amazing display from Jacques of Brazil, just shocking the field with that devastating move. Still with 6 laps to go, I don't think anybody was expecting that, and you could just feel the field behind them starting to panic as they reassess what to do. But for me, one of the most amazing parts of that race was the race for the bronze medal. I mean, for Karasawa to realize the gold is no longer in my hands and to still fight to get that bronze, that was an amazing race.
Well, not only that, he's picked up that bronze, but he's lost his world record that he set in Yokohama City back in 2021. So he's lost his gold medal. That man there, Yeltsin Jacks, has taken it. He's also taken the world record as well, which will become the championship record. So a fantastic effort by Yeltsin Jacks. And with around 5 laps to go, he really went out there and set the speed, and no one could go with him. Now, I mentioned he's a world champion and Paralympic champion in 1,500 metres as well, and that speed as he came through with around 4 laps to go was just too much for that man there, his compatriot Julio Cesar Agapito dos Santos, who picked up the silver, and is Japan picking up their first medal of these championships. Not a gold they wanted, a bronze, but still it's a medal for the former champion now.
You can see that right there is when Jacques and his guide really took control of this race. And again, that is a move of confidence, to know that you can put yourself out there and you have the endurance and the speed to hold everyone off. I cannot wait to see this 1,500 meter event now. But like I say, what a brilliant response and a brilliant bronze from Karasawa. He had to fight for that bronze medal. But this is their opportunity in front of the home crowd. And well done to him for holding on for a podium finish.
Well, not only that, he's absolutely smashed his own lifetime best, which coming into this was 15, 12, 37. So he's taken... by anyone's reckoning, is quite some run indeed. World record time of 14:53.97. There is your world champion in the men's 5,000 metres T11 complete visual impairment category.
Why these guys had to switch out, because they're having to run quite hard. So if you're going to do a 5K in 15 minutes, that's about 3 minutes per kilometer. But don't forget, for these guides, they're also having to talk and give the athletes the information about where everyone is. You have to be incredibly fit, and that is a lot of pressure to know. You better keep up with your athlete, otherwise you're costing them a medal.
Well, there we go. Brazil 1-2. Jacques takes the gold in the world record time, a lifetime best for Agrippino dos Santos, the former champion, Karasawa Kenya of Japan. Comes home ahead of Rudakov and picks up the bronze medal. So Japan on the score sheet with a medal. They're opening one of these games of bronze, but it's Brazil with a gold and silver to get us underway on the track. Lifetime best and season best all the way down the field from 4th through to 9, along with his guides who ran with him, with Mikel Batista dos Santos for Agrippino, with Adelson Davila Almeida, and for the winner, Yeltsin Jacques, with Antonio Barreto and Guillermo dos Santos as well. Brilliant performances from all. We have to give credit to the guides as well. They do pick up medals. Wasn't always the case, but the guides do pick up medals, which is quite deserved because there's a lot of work that goes into practicing. There is the former champion, Karasawa Kenya of Japan, who has to settle for the bronze this time out. He took bronze back in 2019 as well. When it was in Dubai, he was a silver medalist at the Paralympic Games back in 2020. So he's always there around the medals. Here's the home favourite, Karasawa Kenya. This time, though, it's a bronze, because that man there, with a quite stunning run, has taken the gold medal.
Yeah, Yeltsin Jacques pouncing brilliantly. What a victory, the new world record, which was set in Japan and now is beaten in Japan. And it breaks the 13-year-old championship record of Adair Santos back in Christchurch in 2011. Zeleda Cassiano da Silva of Brazil, waiting to go. Brilliant early attempt of 5:54 for her in this women's long jump T20 final. A 5:97 is a lifetime best, 5:90 her season's best, silver in the World Championships last year when she went out to that 5:97, which is an America's record, an equal America's record. Kuharczyk only beat her by 11 centimetres, and if you remember, Cassiano led that final for a long time, and Kuharczyk had 2 misses in the first 3 attempts. 5:86 had got her into the next 3, and then in the final 3, Kuharczyk took control. So this is Cassiano's big chance. It's a big time. As we say, there are a few champions, a few big names not here, like Hug and De Brunner, Alcamada as well. There's not very many nations at all that I can think of who have passed up the chance of competing here. Ireland do not have a team here, by the way. But I think just about everybody has. As Hannah Cockroft was saying, Britain have sent a very small but mighty team. And I think quite a few have followed suit in that. So, I don't know how much attention she's been able to give to what's been happening on the track. It is very windy here as well. It's Kobe. Why wouldn't it be? I'll tell you one thing for nothing. It's nowhere near as windy as it was yesterday. It actually feels kind of pleasant and somewhat clement. So 5:54 for Cassiano da Silva. It was a brilliant start in the opening round. She's really pounded away to that, heading towards 6 meters. It is a fair jump. She gets the white flag. Prospects here for her, definitely. She leads by 15 centimeters from Tsunami Sakai, by the way. 5:39, and Fatma Altin of Turkey in third, 5:37. We will dwell on that. We will return to it because we've got the men's 100 meters T47. It is the arm amputee category, one of many. We've seen Christian Mechia in lane 3 in this first heat in the first round. Wang Hao, the former long jump world champion, is in 4. Michał Derus of Poland in 5. Silver in the 100 in the last 2 Paralympic Games in 6. Washington Junior Assis, bronze in the Paralympic Games 3 years ago in Tokyo. Here in 7. Gold in the Universal Relay in his championship debut last year in Paris. Yuya Sambongi in lane 8. For Lithuania, his 3rd World Championship. Silver in the 2018 Euros in Berlin. It is Dana Sidaitis, who founded the Paradoxus Para-Athletics Club. So it's the top 2 and the next 2 to go through: Mechia, Wang, Derus, Washington Junior, Sambongi and Sidaitis. Washington Junior, who won bronze in the Pan Am Games in Santiago last year, silver in the 100 meters in Dubai in 2019, but was run out of it in 4th in Paris last year. Just an update on that leap, by the way, you saw from Zelena Cassiano. It extends the lead by 7 centimeters, going out to 5 meters 61. There will be quite a bit of attention here, obviously, in Japan on Yuya Sambongi. His 2nd World Championships, a brilliant championship debut last year. In terms of the Universal Relays, you may remember mass disqualifications, and Japan ended up taking the gold. Just like, they were Australian speed skaters. It's Mechia in 3, Wang 4, Derus 5, Junior 6, Sambongi 7, Sidaitis 8. Men's 100 meters T47, the first 2 plus 2 to go through across the 3 heats. That's a false start. Now I wonder if that's Washington Junior. I think it might just have been, who won bronze in Tokyo, who won silver in Dubai, who won bronze again last year in Santiago. So let's watch carefully. So Sidaitis just shuddered on the line. Washington Junior Assis definitely got away of the rest of them, but Sidaitis, well, now he might be given the benefit of the doubt of a faulty start, of interfering with the start to get a yellow card. That is tended to be what's happened in recent championships. He runs a photo studio as well. He's based in Vilnius, in the Lithuanian capital, and they always bring a small, perfectly formed team. It's going to be yellow, which is fair enough. It's no attempt at a false start. And he has that arm strapped in as well. T47 for below elbow or wrist, arm amputee category. Careful, Yuya. He was 4th, by the way, Sidaitis, in the last European Championships in Bydgoszcz in 2021. And because we have a World Championships here, we don't have a Euros this year. Euros set to return in 2026. By the way, there is another World Championships next year. 3 years in a row we'll have a Worlds. And it's just that tiny matter of Paris in a few months as well. So ready to go again. It's yellows across the board, and yellow for Sidaitis, more particularly. So the top 2 to go through: Mechia in 3, Wang in 4, Derus in 5, Washington Junior in 6, Sambongi in 7, and Sidaitis in lane 8. All about getting into the top 2. They're away this time. Solid start by Michał Derus of Poland. Look at him go, and Wang Hao as well of China. And Washington Junior 2 of Brazil. It's only the top 2 going through. It's going to be Wang, Derus and Washington Junior in that order. Wang and Darris make it 11:02. That's nice work for a Friday morning. The Asian Games champion from last year in Hangzhou, taking that title for a third year in a row. He had won 8 gold medals in his previous 2 Asian Games. He's won 10 in his career, and he just overtook Darris and kept it going all the way. Washington Jr. should be okay in third, but, well, we'll see. The top 2 are definitely in, Wang and Darris.
That was a big statement from Wang, because on paper, we weren't actually expecting him to be in the top 2, and this is a big deal. It's a big day for the athletes. The final is in the evening, and nobody gets an easy run out this morning because only the top 2 are guaranteed a spot now. I think Junior might be waiting quite nervously there. He came in 4th again last year in Paris. Brazil had the chance to do a full sweep, but Kevin Santos, who we'll see in the next heat, spoiled the party. He will have a very nervous wait now to see if that time stands up for Junior to make it into that final. And just a note there on the starts. So for the T40 class, the start information system is not actually turned on, so we're not going to get the reaction times like we will for the T11 to 13 classes or the T20s. So it is a decision made by the officials using video replay. But as you say, there is a little bit, many of the athletes are having to balance with just one arm. And so there is obviously that as a consideration when you're making those calls on false starts.
Well, that's the first of the men's 100 metres T47 heats done and dusted with. We're up to number 2 in just a moment or two's time. Worth noting that Patricio Ferreira dos Santos, who's the world record and championship record holder, will go in the 3rd heat. He's the reigning champion in the Worlds and also the Paralympic champion as well. So it'll be interesting to see what performance he comes up with. But that will be the second one which goes. But here is the results of the first one.
Wang Hao takes it, 11.01. Michał Darris second for Poland, 11.12. Washington Jr. having to hold on, 11.15. He's the current fastest loser, Sidaitis in 4th place.
So as we get ready for the second of these heats, just a reminder, the first 2 automatic to go through, then we'll have the next 2 fastest qualifiers who will advance through to the final. So you don't really want to be putting yourself in that position because the first heat would have been quick, and the third one also with that world and Paralympic champion Ferreira dos Santos will also be rather fast indeed. So here's the field going in this one. There are 6 taking part. The man who picked up the bronze medal last year, Kevin Santos of Great Britain, 21 years of age, will go from lane 5. So he'll be one to look out for, as will the man from Japan in Ishida Kakeru, who was 5th in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo back in 2021. So we had not a false start, but a slowish start, a repeat start in that opening one, but a slight movement there in the blocks by Sidaitis of Lithuania. With 6 to go in this one.
Lane 3 from
The opener is the 26-year-old from Colombia, Lasso Juan. They'll be trying to tie him up in knots, no doubt. Ishida Kakeru, who was 5th, as I mentioned a moment or two ago, back in Tokyo Paralympic Games. Kevin Santos of Great Britain, lifetime best of 10.82. Kaki Mohammed Sak of India, his first major championships for him, his lifetime best of 10.95. Graciel Gonzalez Echedoria of Cuba, he won silver in the 100 and 200 back in London 2012. And this man here, Vasquez Segura of the Dominican Republic, he ran the 400 metres in Tokyo 2020. Season best of 11.27 for him, going in lane 8. So there's a slight headwind at the moment. You can see down that bottom right-hand corner of the screen, negative 1.4. So the athletes having to work a little bit harder into that breeze. 6 to go in this, 2 to go through. Lasso in 3, Ishida in 4, Santos in 5, Kaki Mohammed in 6, Gonzalez Isidori in 7, Vasquez Segura will go in lane 8. So they're just about ready. They've been asked to stand. There was a slight little movement perhaps there and someone wasn't ready, so the starter has asked them to just take their time getting back into that position, and I suppose the nerves are starting to flow at the moment.
I think that was a good call by the start official. You could see that Lasso, he uses a different starting position than the other athletes, and you know, he was just a tiny little bit off balance, and so rather than risk an athlete having a disadvantage, he thought, you know what, we're just going to reset. There's a lot of nerves. It's the first day. It's the first race for these gentlemen. I think that was the move of a very wise starting official.
Yeah, the green card given up there. Now Lasso from that starting position there, you don't have to be in those starting blocks. And with this category, the T47, you'll find that some do stand in the block. Some use those, you can see down there, the arm guards they put down on the ground to help them with their stumps to get themselves off to a much more convenient start, if you want to put it for want of a better word. But Lasso from that standing position on the inside lane just wasn't quite ready, so they've just reset. So these things happen. It's allowed for, and they'll get set and get ready to go right now. Woo! So we'll just run through it again. Lasso will go 3. Ishida of Japan in 4. Santos of Great Britain in 5. Kaki Mohammed of India will go in 6. Gonzalez Isidori of Cuba will go in 7. And Vasquez Segura of Dominican Republic in lane 8 on the outside. This time they do get away, and it was Santos who got away quickly on the inside, but he's being caught straight away and looking really good just inside him. It's Ishida of Japan, but it's Santos, and down the outside, second from the end, Gonzalez Isidori. It is Gonzalez Isidori who didn't get there, but it is Santos who takes the win. Slight headwind into their faces there. It's Santos who looks like he's got across there in front, but it was well, it wasn't he got off to a decent start, but then he got caught after that first 20 or 30 metres, but then he went again and got into his stride there and took the victory in 11.16. Gonzalez Isidori there, who came in second from the outside in second position, automatically qualifies, and Ishida with a season best 11.30 for him. So it is Santos of Great Britain who goes through in first. Gonzalez Isidori of Cuba who takes the second automatic qualification position. And Ishida in third. We'll have to wait now to see if he goes through as one of the fastest qualifiers.
Now this is the first 100 meters Santos has run outdoors, but we do know he had a 60-meter PB in the under season. So as you say, he had a great start and maybe just had to think, do you know what, I need to move on here. Great race from Santos. Now, we didn't get to see his trademark backflip, which I am told is intentional. He's been told off by his physio. Maybe he's allowed to do it on the final. We'll see. The speeds, I mean, the times aren't lightning fast, but we've seen they've got a big headwind into their faces. But that was a great showing for Santos, who really took the world by storm in Paris 2023 last year.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier about a small but mighty team that Hannah Cockcroft said to come here today for these championships, and Kevin Santos has got them off to a bit of a flyer. 11.16 he qualifies. Raciel Gonzalez Isidori will go through in second position, a season best for Ishida of Japan, as he'll wait to go through as one of those fastest qualifiers. Minus 1.3 meters per second, that headwind into their faces down this home straight. So not ideal conditions, but they do go through, and we may see the backflip if he wins that final.
So we go into the third heats of this men's 100 metres T47. As you were, by the way, in the women's long jump T20. Zeleda Cassiano, you saw her first 2 attempts. You saw her go out to 5.61. She still leads. Tsunami Sakai still second, 5.39. Fatma Alton still third, 5.30 7 there, still in round 2. There are 16 in it, and this is the world record holder, Patricio Ferreira dos Santos. 10:29 as world record from Sao Paulo 2 years ago. The championship record in Dubai in 2019. He has won this title at the last 2 Paralympic Games and at the last 3 World Championships. I keep thinking there should have been a 2021, but of course, this is the 2021 Championships, just slightly delayed. The last 5 global championships, Patricio Ferreira dos Santos has taken the title, and he is the Pan Am champion 3 times in a row over 100 meters. And the funny thing, he was spotted by a coach at the Brazilian school games, and the coach was based at João Pessoa at a national training center, and he couldn't afford to go there, but a friend of his, a teammate of his mother said, well, look, you can lodge with us for a while, and he did, and look at him now. So Heat 3 this is. Ferreira dos Santos in lane 5, the fastest of the field this season. Bradley Moreira, who had a short run of the last 2 World Championship season 4. Corbin Best is worth watching out for. More about him in a moment, but a championship David Horn for Shi Kangjun of China in 2. He's also going in the long jump. In 3 for Colombia, first major championship for Luis Lara. In lane 4 for Namibia, in the heats of the last 2 World Championships, Bradley Moreira. 8 times major 100 meters champion, 2 Paralympic golds, 3 World Championship golds in the 100 alone. The world record holder Patricio Ferreira dos Santos of Brazil. In lane 6, surprise winner of the US Championships, major championship debut for Corbin Best. In lane 7 for Australia, the Commonwealth Games bronze medalist in Birmingham in 2022, Jaden Page. And in lane 8 for Indonesia, bronze in the Asian Games last year in Hangzhou, silver in the 1 and the 4 in the previous ones in 2018 in Jakarta, Nur Ferry Pradana. So again, it's the top 2 and the next 2 fastest who will progress. .30, by the way, is the second fastest of the fastest loser spots, and that currently being held by Kakeru Ishida of Japan, and ahead of him Washington Jr. of Brazil, 11.15. So if it's fast, aim to be in the top 4, but to be certain, be in the top 2. Top 2 plus 2, Shi Kangjun in 2, Luis Lara in 3, Bradley Moreira 4, Patricio Ferreira dos Santos in 5, Corbin Best in 6, Jaden Page in 7, Nur Ferry Pradana in 8. And they're away first time. Solid start by Ferreira dos Santos and Corbin Best alongside him. And she is going well for China. Ferreira on the way, it's going to be fast. Best in second place. Page coming up in third. 10:82. That's the fastest so far. Patricio Ferreira dos Santos. That was sensational, and Corbin Best automatically going through in second place. 10:98, just outside his lifetime best at the US Championships in California. 11.12 is good enough for Jordan Page. He's made it. Sensational.
What a debut for Best, and you could see that start. Best was so low to the ground, driving, keeping up with Ferreira. At the end, Ferreira's top speed helped him ease to the front, but just like Kevin Santos last year came in as the young surprise, I think Corbin Best might be one to look at in the final this evening.
Wow, it was absolutely sensational. The top 3 are through. She is not. 11.20. But how about that from Patricio Ferreira dos Santos? Brilliant top speed by him. But, hey, Corbin Best is looking I was going to say a good outside bet. He's not even an outside bet now, is he? This could be some final. Patricio Ferreira dos Santos, Corbin Best automatically through inside 11 seconds. Jaden Page of Australia there as well from Canberra. Sebastian Kuzminski, his coach, Those are the three to progress to the final. She, Kang Jun, just missing out by 500ths of a second. So here's the field for the final, and what a final. Chisiu Ferreira dos Santos, the man they have to beat, but Corbin best. Could he be the best? Wang Hao, Jaden Page, Mihao Deros, Washington Jr., Kevin Santos, and Raciel Gonzalez are the 8 in the final. That's one to look forward to tonight, 7:10 Japan time. Wow.
Wow, indeed. As we stay on the track, but this time it's the visual impairment category, men's 100 metres T12. The world championship record holder, Salam Kashafali, isn't here at these championships. The man who is, though, won gold last year in Paris. Noah Malone will go in heat number 1. So there's still a high-class field going in this event. There's 3 heats. There is Malone. He was quite adamant in his press conference yesterday that we watched that he wanted to go extra fast. He was going to come away with the gold medal at these championships in one form or another. He's also a Paralympic champion in the mixed relay back in 2020, or the delayed championships in 2021, we should say, for the Paralympics. Won silver in those Paralympic Games behind Salam Kashafali. So the man next to him, Jonathan Intutu, though, knows all about winning. He's a double Commonwealth Games champion from 2018 and 2022. He's also won silvers in the 2016 Paralympic Games as well. So Armadilla will go in 1, Intutu will go in 3, Malone will go in 5, and Saputra will go in lane 7. So there's wins for Intutu in the T13 category. But this is the T12. This is the medium visual impairment category. So athletes do not have to run with a guide. Well, they can opt to, but the T11s have to run with a guide. T12s and T13s is not compulsory. But he's been around for a long time. He took bronze in Assen back in 2006, did Intutu. Then you've got the opposite end of the scale, that man there, 23 years of age, first major championships, the man from Namibia, Leonard Amadila. And out wide there, it is Iko Saputra. Second major championships after competing in Dubai in 2019 for the man from Indonesia with a lifetime best of 11:22. Only one will automatically go through, though, from each of the 3 heats, and then it will be the fastest qualifier who will also go through to take the 4th and final spot in the final. So it's a little bit behind schedule, only a couple of minutes or so, but I'm sure we'll make that up. A couple of ropey starts in the previous races, saw resets. So there's still field events taking place. You can see in the foreground there, you just saw the women's T20 long jump, which we'll get back to in a short while's time. But let's get on with the first heat in the men's 100 metres T12. Leonard Amadila of Namibia will go in lane 1. In lane 3, the double Commonwealth Games champion Intutu of South Africa. In lane 5, it's Noah Malone, the reigning world champion from Paris last year. Lifetime best of 10:33 for him. And in lane 7, Iko Saputra of Indonesia. Season best of 11:39, a lifetime best of 11:22. He's going to have some work to do if he wants to get through in this one. Just reiterating, it is the first who goes through automatically, and then after the 3 heats, it will be the fastest qualifier who then goes through over those 3 heats. Still a slight headwind as winds drops a little bit though, so just down to minus 0.10 at the moment. So it was minus 1.4 about 10-15 minutes ago. Just eased down slightly. Well, Malone looked all business at the press conference yesterday. Now see if he's going to be all business on the track. So Armadillo in 1, Tutu in 3, Malone in 5, and Saputra in lane 7. They get away with no problem at all. Malone has absolutely flown out of the box, and in Tutu on his inside, he's currently in 2nd position, but it's all about Noah Malone and seeing what he can do, and Tutu is going to take 2nd. It's Malone who goes across, time. Well, it looked like 10.90 was the time that was originally given. So 10.90 for Noah Malone. He's well outside his lifetime best, but the headwind really kicked up there. Minus 2.6 ended up. So a big wind coming into their face. And Tutu in 2nd position there. We'll now have to wait to see whether 11.50 will be fast enough as one of those qualifying times. But never any doubt there, was there, Noah Malone?
Now, Malone, he committed to the start, which you always have to do, but then knew he could shut things down. Now, you'll see, just in case you're wondering about the spread of the athletes, each athlete is assigned 2 lanes, and they're able to set up and run in whatever portion of that lane that they want to. And usually that choice is dictated by what sort of vision they have in their periphery. But Malone was very clear in that press conference. He's looking for the world record, and that's realistic. His PB is listed as 10:33. The world record is listed as 10:43, and that's a bit confusing, but sometimes you'll run it in a race that doesn't qualify necessarily for a world record, but he can definitely get there.
Well, talking of qualifying, Noah Malone has gone through. 10.90 for him, and Tutu will wait in 2nd position to see if he can go through as one of the fastest qualifiers with 11.50, but no doubt whatsoever that Noah Malone is into the final. 2 heats yet to come.
そして皆さんにお願いです。オンエアマークスの合図がかかりましたらお静かにお願いします。
That has definitely set an impressive standard, no doubt about that. Leonard Armadillo of Namibia just being helped away at the moment after that race, but in Tutu 11.50, hanging on as the next fastest, or the lone fastest loser, as we used to say. Yeah, the world record of this held by Salem Kashafali. This is the category of medium visual impairment, but kind of like what happened to Jason Smith a few years ago, who went from a T13, which is the category of least visual impairment, went from T13 to T12. He's gone back to T13 again, so he is here. Norway have a team of 10, and he is here, but we'll see him later on in the week, and he'll be aiming to look for more records and to go faster again here. Munchef Boujat of Morocco among the field of 4. So in T11, guides are mandatory, as you'll know. T12, they're optional. And we have a DNS for Pham Nguyen of Vietnam. Just as happened in the Asian Games to him, Serkan Yildirim of Turkey, Munchef Boujat of Morocco, and Roman Tarasov, who is a neutral athlete, bronze in the last Paralympic Games in Tokyo. Tarasov, 10.77 lifetime best. Breeze is swirling around a bit here in Kobe. We've got a good few thousand in for this morning session, which is brilliant to see. The Universiade Memorial Stadium for the 1985 Universiade, the World University Games. Serkan Yildirim of Turkey. So the government wants the Turkish name to be used in English from now on. So Farron Gwen, I'm afraid to say, doesn't start this. He was disqualified in the Asian Games for a false start, so then there was 3. And in lane 3 for Turkey, Serkan Yildirim. 10.83 is lifetime best set this year. Championship debut we have him down as. In lane 5 for Morocco, silver in the 100 metres at last year's World Championship, Munchep Bouja. And in lane 7, a neutral athlete in neutral green. Bronze in the 100 metres in Tokyo in 2021, Roman Tarasov. It is only the winner to go through. Medium visual impairment, up to 5% vision. The T13, it's up to 20% vision. They can go with guides if they wish, but none of them wish to. Fair enough. 10.90 from the reigning world champion Noah Malone in the opening heat. This heat 2 of 3, and it's only the winner definitely into the final. For the second place, or 11.50 they want to beat, but to be honest, they want to go a lot faster than that. It's a very good heat 3 coming up. Yildirim in 3, Bouja 5, Tarasov in lane 7. Bouja's in 6, which is his choice. Away in the first time of asking. That's a good start by Yildirim in his championship debut. And Tarasov is going well, but it's Yildirim who's out in front. It's Yildirim ahead of Bouja. Yildirim, Bouja, Tarasov, the 1, 2, 3. 10.74. That's faster. And the Turkish athlete looking really decent there. Bouja in second will certainly be the fastest loser for now. Not much doubt about that. It's a lifetime best by 0.08 of a second for Yildirim after his successes in the Grand Prix earlier in the year, and Bouja 11.07.
That was quite the race from Yildirim, and all 3 men will have lined up feeling like this is a final. There was only 700 separating them, and only the winner goes through, and that's because in the final there were only 4 spots available because each athlete gets 2 lanes. But to run a personal best in a morning into what is not a favorable heat, that was an outstanding run from Yildirim.
And Tarasov, you know, was actually well inside the previous fastest loser time as well. But Yildirim, we'll be hearing a lot more of him. I think there's no doubt about that. He is 32 years old. Yildirim takes a 10.75. Bouja is the next fastest for now, 11.07. And Tarasov, quite unlucky, really. 11.13. If he'd been drawn in another heat, he might well be in position to go through himself. But Tarasov is out, Yildirim is through, and Bouja has to wait.
So now we prepare for the 3rd and final heat in this men's 100 metres T12 category. Four set to go in this one.
That was a good point about the lane draws, because to an extent it does play into these heats, especially when only one athlete can go through. And in general, they will make an effort to ensure that the top athletes are in different heats and that you have separation with countries. But there is that little bit of an element, and as athletes, you're looking at the heat sheets the night before thinking, who am I going to be with?
So here we are, heat number 3. 4 named will go. Hanafia, Shaw, Teodoro and Yamaji all go in this one. Only one will go through. That slight headwind has been there all morning for the athletes. Hasn't seemed to cause too many issues at the moment. They're all running into the same slight headwind, but the weather has certainly been much more favourable on this opening morning of these World Para-Athletics Championships. So whoever finishes second in this one, 11:07 is the time they're going to have to beat if they want to take that spot off Bouja, who finished second from Morocco in the previous heat. 10:85, Zachary Shaw, his lifetime best. He was bronze last year, the man from Grimsby in Great Britain. Imagine will get plenty of support. Semi-finalist back in Doha in 2015, his best. So 11:24 for the Japanese athlete. Here's the slowest lifetime best of all four of the athletes taking part in this. Teodoro of Brazil is 10:77. His season best is just 10:95, so he's got a bit of work to do if he's to overtake his lifetime best. And I suggest he'll probably need to do that in this one if he wants to get through and guarantee his place in that final. So they're just getting themselves ready to go. So out in lane one, it was Mohammed Al Hanafiya. Shaw will go in 3, Teodoro will go in 5, and Yamaji will go in lane 7. So all four set to go.
Men's 100 meter.
I love that camera to the right
heat
there.
3.
It does that job down the side of the track. It's so good.
Lane 1.
Gives such good
From
shots.
Malaysia, Mohammed Ali Hanafiya.
So a lifetime best of 11:20 for Mohammed Ali Hanafiya, who didn't get out of the heats back in 2019 when he last competed in the Worlds. Zachary Shaw, 10:85, the reigning bronze medalist from Paris last year. Teodoro, lifetime best of 10:77 for him. He was 4th in both 2016 and 2020. Yamaji Shunya of Japan, semi-finalist in Doha in 2015, his best result in his career at major championships thus far. We'll go in lane 7. Just keep an eye on that clock for the person who comes in second position, because 11:07 is the current mark, which need beaten at the moment. So expect a showdown between lanes 3 and 5, Shaw of Great Britain and Teodoro of Brazil, for that automatic qualification place, where the crowd will be cheering on that man there, Yamaji Shunya. Who turns 29 this year. Well, they're away, and Shaw gets away, well, as does Teodoro out in lane 5, and it's Shaw at the moment who has the lead, but here comes Teodoro down the outside, but it's Shaw who's going to take the win. It is Shaw who takes it. Teodoro in second position, and we'll now just have to wait and see what time Teodoro's come up with. 11:07 was that time. It's 11 on the dot for Shaw. So Teodoro might be in a bit of trouble. He misses out. So 11.11 won't be good enough. So Shaw does go through as the automatic qualifier, and Teodoro in second position just misses out.
That was such a mature and composed race by Zachary Shaw, who is the team captain of Great Britain, showing the rest of the team how it's done. When you come in the third heat, you know exactly what is required of you. You knew that 11:07 was what it was going to take to make the final if you didn't win. Shaw thought, you know what, I'm going to take that win instead.
Well, a lifetime best for the man from Malaysia, Mohammed Al Hanafiya. Not good enough for him to go through, though, but
Thank you.
Zachary Shaw happy with his performance and saying thank you there. 11 on the dot. Maybe not the quickest, but it doesn't matter because he's through to the final. There are the 4 who are going through. So Buja from the second heat qualifies as that fastest loser. Shaw, Malone and Yildirim with the fastest time of 10:75 for him in that second heat as well, the man from Turkey. So that is set. Loads more happening as we round up the men's 100 metres T12, and we now look back towards the field events. The seated throw is still taking place in the women's discus throw F55 final.
Yeah, this started at 9 a.m, so we're going back to an hour and a half at this stage. And we're joining Erica Castano here. And look at what she's been producing. The Pan Am champion, the 2019 world champion, and she's got that one well out. That's going to be the lead above Ruba Alamari of Bahrain, who we saw earlier. 22.78 for Alamari. Castano going out well beyond 25 metres with all her efforts so far. And Erica Castano goes into the gold medal position, and a lifetime best for her as well. 26.88 with a third round attempt. And she leads by over 4 metres. Alamari in second, and Maria Navarro of Mexico in third, with a lifetime best of 22.63. There's still 3 to throw in this. Guerrero, Dong and Sarah Mickey. Dong, the 2 in a row Paralympic champion. Guerrero, the world champion. Castano is the Pan Am champion right now. A world gold previously. Sarah Mickey will be the next to go for Canada from Redcliffe in Alberta. 4th in Lima at the 2019 Pan Ams. Hopefully we'll get a bit of time to see her. By the way, we were originally scheduled to have a 4th heat in that men's 100 metres T12. But due to a redraw, that is not happening. So we're seeing the leader in the women's discus. Now let's see how things are going in the women's long jump T20. Good competition this so far. And Zeleda Cassiano we saw going out in front after 2 rounds and 5 metres 61. Sonomi Sakai in the opening round, 5:39. And she's just been overtaken by Reyhan Tezdalan of Turkey, 5:42. Cassiano, 5:70. The silver medalist last time out. She is the America's record holder, North and South, 5:97. Cassiano, great start for her, 5:54 in the opening round, 5:61 in round 2. Little increments each time. 5:70 in round 3 to take the lead for Brazil. So it's the top 8 who are going through. Claudia Santos of Portugal, Stefania Gudmundsdottir of Iceland, Michaela Rostowski of Croatia, somewhat surprisingly, not there. These are the 8 who've made the cut. Maria Murillo of Colombia, 5:01. She's the one who's edged out the 3 names I've just mentioned. There's Japanese interest with Rio Kawaguchi in 7th. Sonomi Sakai in 3rd, 5:39. There's 5 centimetres between 2nd and 5th. Reyhan Tezdalan in the silver medal position. Fatma Altin is not that far off, along with Deborah Oliveira de Lima, 2 centimetres away. And these are the ones not to make it. I'm afraid Angulo of Ecuador missed all of her attempts. Claudia Santos, Stefania Gudmundsdottir, Michaela Rostowski, all within 20 centimetres of the cut. Gudmundsdottir within 10. Santos, Claudia Santos, only 2 centimetres away.
This has actually been a really tough qualification. 7 of the athletes went into that final round with 2 no jumps to their name, which meant that that was a very stressful third round jump. And unfortunately, a lot of them had to take a safety jump, which wasn't near their personal best. However, Kawaguchi also went in with 2 fouls to her name and managed to produce a season's best of 5:10 to get into this final.
That's always the awkward thing. I mean, look at that, because you miss your first 2 and the pressure's really on, because you have to produce something really close to your lifetime best, which she did, 22 centimeters off, and it is literally make or break, because you don't get it, well, thanks for coming.
Well, that's the thing. You have to make this difficult decision between, do I go for it or do I risk a foul? And I say, do you know what? You have to go for it. You got to get in that final.
So Kawaguchi in 7th place, 5 meters 10. She's only 21 years old, met the board well, out around 5 meters. Lifetime best is 5:32, and that is a fair jump. It's a white flag for Ryo Kawaguchi. And it's just one of those things, because you want to start somewhat conservatively and then go for it in the second attempt. But also this is T20, it's the intellectual impairment category, so tactics are really not a feature.
This is, well, we've seen what the wind has been doing. We have seen winds as high as +3 and in the negatives, -1.1. And so on the best of days, setting up a runway is tough for everyone, and it's been particularly difficult in this case.
It was 4.99 for her. Similar story, really, for Jardenia Felix Barbosa to silver. 5:31 she started with. She's a 5:81 jumper this year. That's a lifetime best. Currently in a 6th position, and that leaves her only 8 centimeters off the medals right now. Bronze in the World Championships last year. Here she comes. Well, she can get a little bit extra on this. She is a big contender, and she might just have done it there. Looks beyond 5 meters, but isn't an improvement on the 5:31 from previously. Kawaguchi had left 4.99 with a 4th round attempt.
Again, just to put into context how difficult it is to jump when you have a wind that's swirling. Most of their runways are about 18 steps. If you were off by just 1 centimeter on each of those steps, that board is only 20 centimeters. Those are the margins you're dealing with.
Tight 5.26, 5 centimeters off it. She is definitely still up there, and you consider there's 11 centimeters between 2nd and 6th. Never mind between 2nd and 5th, which is a story itself in its own right. The margins are tight, and they have a couple of really good young athletes here. Here's Felix Barbosa, 20 years old in the bronze last year, and here Deborah Oliveira de Lima is 23 in the past few weeks, so that is a good one. That is a good one. 5:37, 2 in a row for 5th spot. She needs 5:39 to go into the bronze medal position. 5:42 is silver, and she's really testing both of them. She gave that a really good tilt, did Deborah Oliveira de Lima. She's a 5:85 leaper on her day. That's a lifetime best. Sensational stuff, because she goes into the silver medal position. 5:54 for Oliveira de Lima.
That is a big deal. She was sitting in 5th place, even though she had the same distance as Altan of Turkey, both at 5:37. This is when that second best jump really matters as your backup. And instead of just doing it 1 spot at a time, she has just leapfrogged into 2nd. Brazil now sits 1 and 2. Unfortunately, this now means that Sakai of Japan has been knocked down to 4th, but she will have a chance to respond in this round.
Fatma Altan of Turkey, 5th position, 5:37. The pressure is on. She was in the medals for a bit. She's been overtaken by her teammate Rayhan Tazdelen and Deborah Oliveira de Lima as well. It's a fair jump. That is a white flag, and she's looking to go out beyond 5:40 now.
This is where it's going to get really interesting. These are all the women that have survived to these final 3 rounds. And for us as an audience, it's great. We want to see these positions chopping and changing. As an athlete, you'd much rather have a bigger buffer. Now, she has improved.
Oh,
5:43.
Look at that,
great
bronze.
response.
Alton up into bronze, 5:43, and she has got the extra distance that she wanted. It's Turkey 3 and 4. Well, the heat is really on again still, isn't it? It's Brazil 1-2, Turkey at 3-4, Japan 5 and 7. Sakai's coming now. Sonome Sakai, 4th in the World Championships last year. She was only edged out by a very, very narrow margin. It was an Asian record last year of 5:44 for her.
Now this is very clever what Sakai is doing right now. She is feeling for that win. She wants to jump with the wind behind her. Even if it's above plus points, plus 2.0, it might not count as an official PB or world record, but it counts for this competition. So strategically, that is very clever. Wait until the wind is at its strongest.
It is blowing up a bit behind her. We can tell from the flag. Here she comes. Is it going to give her a big boost, a big lift, and a big jump beyond 5 meters? It's a white flag. Sakai's got a good chance here. 5:39, her best by a long way today.
You can see her driving down the runway. No matter how good your jump technique is, if you're not bringing speed, it's not going to go very far. That runway is so important. And again, why not use the benefit of all that wind behind you?
It's beyond 5 meters. 5:20. She stays in 5th position. But it is such a close battle for the medals right now.
And actually, Sakai's jump series is a great example. Her best jump, 5:39, was jumped into a negative 1.1 meter per second headwind. So she had a headwind for her best jump, a tailwind for that one. Again, you are having to adjust your runway with every single jump. This is a tough competition for these women.
Tastelin, 5:42, her best in the previous round. This is a 4th attempt. Raihan Tastelin, that was a lifetime best as well of 5:42. She's got out beyond 5 again, there's no doubt about that. Her major championship debut at the age of 16. She hasn't had the benefit of a European Championships to build up. We haven't had one of those in 3 years. We won't have another one for 2 years. So Tastelin, has she improved? For another lifetime best. 5:35, it's good consistency, but it doesn't leap her into the medals. But look at how close she is, only a centimetre away.
And what a learning experience for Tastelin, because she will have just seen her teammate knock her out of a podium position, but this is part of this event. You have the joy of thinking, oh, I'm in a medal position, and then you're knocked down, and you have to be able to respond and manage those emotions.
So silver medal last time out for Sileida Cassiano de Silva. 5:70 coming in the 3rd round. Her America's record, 5:97 from last year. The silver behind Karolina Kuharczyk, who is one of the few champions, in truth, who's not here to defend the title again. So Cassiano trotting up. Can she improve even further? That's out towards 6 meters. Superb from Sileida Cassiano de Silva. A 16-centimeter advantage over Deborah Oliveira right now.
What a series she has put together. 5:54, 5:61, 5:70, and that one looked even further. She is using every single attempt to figure out the conditions, and if that is another improvement, again, she's just eking out those extra centimeters ahead of her competitors. You want to have a buffer. You want to know that the other women are fighting for silver.
She's done it. 5:80. 10 centimeters on top of her previous effort. Chance to review it back. That was quite stunning from Sileida Cassiano. 5:80. Oliveira 5:54s who go into round 5, and Murillo. Well, so much for that. 5:01 remains her best. And a few no jumps along the way for Murillo of Colombia. That's her third red flag out of 5.
So we're into the penultimate jumps for these ladies. What's been a quite enthralling competition so far. Well, the crowd has been building, and the Japanese have been building to something special. Then Kawaguchi come up with something here. Season best of 5:10. She said she's in 7th position. Plenty to do if she wants to get herself up into those medals. Needs to find another 34 centimetres to move ahead of Alton, who's in the bronze medal position. So here we go for Kawaguchi. And that one there won't be enough though. Disappointing 5th jump, so 5:10 is going to be and remain her best mark so far.
Kawaguchi had a brilliant 3rd round jump after 2 fouls to get herself into this final. Now, her personal best is 5 meters 32. She's already jumped a season's best, but she will have to find something quite special to get into those podium places in the 6th round.
Yeah, so she stays in 7th position with that 483. Well, it's Brazil who are currently 1st and 2nd. And the 3rd of the Brazilians, Jardina Felix Barbosa da Silva, is in 6th position. 5:31, her opening jump, the best so far. So she needs to find another 13 centimetres. And that will leave Brazil in all of the medal positions if Felix Barbosa da Silva can do that. 5:81, her season and lifetime best, but she's had a bit of a stutter there as she got towards the board. And the red flag is shown. You can just see she just lost her run-up along the way, Steph.
You can just tell that, again, the runway conditions have been so difficult, and that stutter step happens when you can feel yourself coming to the board faster than you expect, and you hope that by stuttering and shutting down that stride length, you're going to make it, but it just throws off your rhythm entirely. And so she is going to have a very tough conversation with her coach right now. What do we do with this runway? Do we move it back? Do we trust it and actually just change how we're running? Big decisions ahead of this 6th round, because Brazil has a chance to take a full sweep here.
Well, Brazil again, this time though, it's the lady in the silver medal position, Oliveira de Lima, 5:54 with her 4th jump. What can she come up with on this one? Well, the jump looks fine. It's over the 5-metre mark. Not too sure it's going to improve though on that 5:54. 5:85 is her lifetime best set this year.
You can just watch in her running stride down the runway. She's very poppy. She's very good at getting speed and power off the runway and then again off the board.
Yeah, so no improvement, 5:31. So remains in that silver medal position. And the lady who wants that silver medal will be up in a moment or two's time. There's the current gold medal position athlete in Cassiana de Silva. Happy with her work at the moment. You can certainly understand why. 580 out in front there by 26 centimetres. So here is Alton of Turkey, 5:43 with her 4th jumps. He's gone 5:37, 5:37, 5:33 and 5:43. So he's currently 11 centimetres short of Oliveira de Lima in that silver medal position. Well, it looked tight, and it's a red flag that has been given, so there'll be nothing further to add in this round for Alton of Turkey. Now, a lifetime best of 5:62. The best of 7th was back in 2020 at the Paralympic Games. But that's a foul there, so she stays in that bronze medal position. which I'm sure she'd be happy with if she actually got the bronze medal position, but at the moment she just wants to improve on what she's got.
Yeah, I feel 5:43 for bronze, 5:42 for fourth. You're not feeling too confident there right now. You have to defend it, but she gets some great height off that board.
Well, let's join Sonami Saki here. 5:39 in the opening round. That is the season's best. She right now is 3 kilos, 3 centimeters off the record. Trying to get away into the top 3. And that is a red flag for Sakai. She's in 5th spot. She's in trouble here. Having performed so well in finishing 4th at the last World Championships, right now she is 5th. So she's 3 centimeters off 4th and 4 centimeters off bronze. And that is only her 2nd miss of the competition, and that is how tightly congested they are.
Well, it's time to go back to the track. That's the women's 1500 metres T11 opening round race. Now, this is the complete visual impairment category, so that does mean you have to run with a guide. You are completely blindfolded. So there's 5 set to go in this opening race.
1500 meter T11.
That'll be the first 2 in each of the heats which qualifies, and the next 2 fastest after that will advance through
Ethiopia,
to the final.
and the guide, Girma Kindu Sise.
So Shakaran of Turkey will go
from South
with her guy from the inside. Tesfor of Ethiopia will go second. And Lizanne Kurtzia, who was a silver medalist in this event last year from South Africa,
Order 4.
and also in 2020 in Tokyo, will go third. Yepkemei of Kenya, the 34-year-old who set a lifetime best this year,
Order 5
is the 4th to go.
Japan.
And Natsumi Tanushi of Japan, 34 years of age, will go out from the outside.
1500 meter T11 starts now.
So 3 3/4 laps. And we'll have the first 2 of these 5 who will go through. There are due to be 4 going in the second. Nancy Kush, the reigning champion, not here. So Lizanne Kurtzia of South Africa would certainly be the one to look out for. And as usual with this event, it comes down to a lot of work from the guide as well, so plenty to do. Kurtzia, as always, doesn't take it too quick. She's currently back in 3rd position, but way out in front there, they've really taken off. The Ethiopian Tesfor out with Yepkemei of Kenya, and they've really gone out to a blistering start as they head around for that opening 200 metres. When they come across that line, they'll have 3 laps left to go. And it's currently Tesfor who leads, with Yepkemei just behind, and there's a gap of around 15-20 metres then back to Lizanne Kurtzia of South Africa, the silver medalist from last year in Paris, who's in 3rd position. So it will be the first 2 who have gone through. Perhaps it's tactical, perhaps they've just gone out quick to try and get themselves some position, but it will certainly tell on that last 600 metres or so. And as your word, Tesfor out in front, Yepkemei of Kenya in 2nd position, the 34-year-old with that lifetime best set this year. And the 2 Africans at the moment, Steph, look like they've really set out some pace.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how 1500-meter runners attack this first round, because the thing is, in total, we're only actually losing 2 athletes. So the first 2 are going through Kamichi, and the next 2 fastest, and it's always this fine balance between, I really want to guarantee my spot, but it's a 1500-meter race, you know, it's relatively long. I don't want to do any more work than I have to, but Tisva has definitely said, hey, I'm fit. I'm going to make sure I'm through.
And you can see on the right screen there, you can see Kurtzia right on the right-hand screen there with a guy with the yellow top on. about 20 metres or so at the moment, but Kurtzia is a very strong finisher. We do know that. So these two are out in front. They're going to have to maintain that pace and really go with it in that last 800 metres, because they're going to have plenty of work to do, and Kurtzia will make a run for it towards the end. You can pretty much say that at the moment it's going to be those three who are going to be battling out for the top two spots to go through, guaranteed into that final. So they go across, and it's currently with 2 laps to go. It's Tesfor who leads, Yep Kemai of Kenya who's there. Now Yep Kemai's lifetime best was set this year. That was 4:59.67. Now Kurtzia's 4:40.96 is her lifetime best, but 4:59.02 is her season best. So there's plenty of work for her to be doing as far as looking at her speed goes this year. But she's just sitting there. She hasn't moved from that position at the moment, and they'll come around. They've got around 600-700 metres left in this opening 1,500 metres T11 complete visual impairment heat. So there's a gap that's slightly opened up out in front from Tesfor, who has opened up the Ethiopian on the Kenyan Prisha Jep Kemai. There's about 10 metres between them, and probably another 15 to 20 metres further back to Lizanne Kurtzia. And in all honesty, step out in front at the moment, Tesfor looks very comfortable indeed.
Tesfa looks very strong, and Kurtzia's guide will be, he'll be her eyes right now. He'll be letting her know what's going on. And when you see somebody go off that quickly at the start, the worst thing that you can do is try and sprint and chase them down. From an energetic systems perspective, that's not great. And what Kurtzia and her guide have actually done is they've just slowly been ramping it up. I've been watching the different speeds between Jep Kemai and Kurtzia, and Kurtzia is just gradually drawing her in.
Yeah, she certainly wound up that last 100 metres or so, but she's just slowed down a bit as they've gone across to take the bell. But Tesfor still out in front, looking very comfortable at the moment. Yep Kemai, the Kenyan, has just managed to find enough to just hold off that challenge of Kurtzia. But Kurtzia and her guide, Erasmus Battenhorst, have really they put the pedal down somewhat, and they look at this stage as if they're going to be moving up very soon, the next 100 metres or so, to go up alongside Prisha Jep Kemai and Kenneth Lagat, who guides her, the Kenyan. Now, at the moment, out in front, looking still very strong, is the leader, Yashesh Tesfor. And there's a gap, probably 20 metres between them. 10 metres from first, second, another 10 metres to third position. Now, Kurtzia's going to have some work to do as they head down that final straight, because at the moment, she hasn't made up much of that gap. It is only the first two that go through, and it certainly looks like it's going to be Yayash Tesfor who's going to go in first position. Now, behind her, Kemai has just burst on the speed a little bit. Kurtzia's doing her best, but at the moment, it looks like it's going to finish in the order that we have it at the moment. It's the Ethiopian who's out in front, in Yayash Tesfor, who's going to take first position, and in second place is going to be Prisha Jep Kemai, who's going to hold on to the challenge of Kurtzia. So Kurtzia is going to have to try and now hope she goes through as one of those two fastest. It is the Ethiopian Yesfor who goes through in first position, Jep Kemai second, and Kurtzia through in third place. 4:49 the time they've gone through in, so well outside, 11 seconds outside that lifetime best set this year for Tesfor, but it doesn't matter because she's gone through in first position. Lifetime best of 4:51.35 for Jep Kemai, who takes second, and Kurtzia will have to wait, despite setting a season best of 4:53.01, we'll have to wait to see if she goes through as one of those fastest qualifiers as well.
That was quite a statement from Tesfa, and to be honest, she doesn't actually look like she's even breathing that hard, which makes sense because even though she dominated that race from start to finish, that was quite a comfortable time for her.
Yeah, the Japanese athlete has just been cheered home. Anuchi Natsumi, who's come across the line. Always important, these athletes, they want to get themselves a finish. They want to make sure that they get across that finishing line. And the crowds in para-athletics are very good. They do cheer on to make sure everyone gets home. Anuchi in fourth position at a time of 5:45.69 for her. So well outside her lifetime best. But the crowd extremely happy that she got home. So, well, it was pretty much Tesfor, the Ethiopian, from the very beginning. And there wasn't any doubt, let's say with around 2 laps to go, when she opened up quite some lead, that she was going to finish this race in first position. And as you mentioned, it's the top two that go through, and it's all about making sure you get through to that final, I suppose, but you don't want to be using up too much energy at the same time.
Yeah, it would have been an interesting thought process and conversation between Kotze and her guide in terms of thinking about, okay, who's coming after us? If we just maintain this pace, can we get through? But now they are going to have to wait and see if they're in.
So Jeb Kemai with a lifetime best in second position qualifiers, along with Tesfor, who comes home in 4:49.07. Season best for Luzanne Kurtzia in third position. She'll now have to wait to see if she goes through as one of those fastest qualifiers. One more heat yet to come.
And the athletes are coming out for that heat right now. T11, complete visual impairment. All the athletes are fully blind. Hei Shanshan of China. Rakshita Raju of India. Ioana Mazur of Poland. And Neri Mamani of Peru. The four who go in this, all with guides. Well, Ioana Mazur here, the 2019 world champion in Dubai over 1,500 metres, retaining the title she claimed in London. The reigning European 1,500 metres champion. Claiming gold in the last 2 Euros in Bydgoszcz, and before that in Berlin. So it's Hei Chen on the inside with a guide, Yu Junjae. Rakshita Raju of India with her guide, Kantabrez. Ioana Mazur with her guide, Mihao Stavitsky. And on the outside, Neri Mamani of Peru. Championship debutant with her guide, Aldo Kusi. Ioana Mazur, the 4-time European champion. The twice world champion. Finished 4th in the 1,500 metres a year ago in Paris. 5:45, the target for Anucci. Now that's interesting. That's why Anucci wanted to finish. She currently is in what's euphemistically being called here as the hot seats, what's traditionally being called the fastest losers, the next fastest. Tesfor and Jeb Kemai are through. I have to say, really, really nice crowd in. And plenty of schools supplying the attendance today. And I think they're having a lot of fun. And where are all those kids going up to the top? You've still got a bit of action, don't go anywhere. Actually, we were coming in the metro, all of us on the way in, and it was definitely filling up with kids going to school who, I guess on their uniforms, weren't coming here. Maybe they were. So it's the top 2 to go through.
Women's 1,500 meter T11, Heat 2. Order 1. From
so
China,
on the inside
He
for China, He Shanshan. Silver in the 1,500 meters in the 2019 Worlds.
Raju Lakshita.
Outside her for India, Rakshita Raju, the Asian Games champion in 2018 in Jakarta. Next up, the great Ioana Mazur. 3 medals in the 2019 Worlds, gold in the 15, silver in the 8, bronze in the 4. The 2-time world champion and the reigning European champion. And in 4, it's welcome aboard to Neri Mamani of Peru on her global championship debut.
Aldo Milagro. Women's 1,500 meter T11 starts now. On your mark.
So 5:45 is the target. (1,500 meters T11). A spot on the final. They're away. Hei Shanshan, Rakshita Raju, Ioana Mazur and Neri Mamani. And it's Ioana Mazur out in front for Poland straight away, which is such a familiar position for her. Didn't pick up a medal in Paris last year. She'd finished 5th in the 15 and the 5. But she'd won gold, silver and bronze, one of each in each of the last 2 championships. London 2017, Dubai 2019. And she's won golds in the last 3 European championships. She's the Polish Para-Athlete of the Year, and this is where we dig out the annual line that she was not just in the Polish version of Dancing with the Stars of Strictly, but she won it. Congratulations to her. Congratulations to Jason Smith for winning the Irish one as well, by the way. Joanna Mazur leading, 3 laps to go. It's he in second spot, and Mamani in third, and these two well out in front, Mazur and He Shan. And at the moment, well, Neri Mamani, if she's conservative enough and she runs her own race, and we can say the same about Raju, whoever comes third should be able to squeak into the final as well, but it's Mazur in control here.
Mazur has gone off very quickly. I think I was clocking her at about, well, we see now, 4:35, 4:22 at the beginning. So she is looking to guarantee her spot. But it was interesting as I was watching the guide of Mamani. A lot of them actually have their own watches in their hands. So as much as they're queuing off the other athletes, they will have gone into this race with their own splits in mind. And so it's always this question of, okay, am I racing for a spot, or am I going to run the race in a way that physiologically works for me?
Mazur just stumbled a little bit there. She was just coming in on the inside and just lost a little bit of her pace. She's managed to stay upright. It helps that she's had Mia Stavitsky alongside her every step of the way for all of her successes. And she's just managed to get back in an even keel. Looks to have slowed down a bit. From my point of view, 2 laps to go. Mazur leading, Hay in second place. Mamani in third, a good bit behind, but still running a decent pace. Probably should be around 4:50. Mamani's lifetime best is actually 5:13. She doesn't look as if she's going to be very far away from it. She may well be well inside it. But it's Mazur and Hay, and these two are way out in front, and it is the top two going through, and it doesn't matter what order, frankly. And a few words from both guides, just to make sure that they're not overdoing it.
We have a great shot there of the tether, which is how both the guide and the athletes stay attached. And actually, it would have been a very busy morning in the technical officials' room, because all of this equipment has to be checked. And for the T11 category, the tether has to be checked. It's very highly regulated. It has to be a certain length and a certain material. It can't be elastic. But on top of that, they also have to check the eyewear of the athletes. So all of the T11 athletes will have to wear eye patches, and then to ensure that there is absolutely no light, no vision, and then approved eyewear on top of that. So with the men's 5,000 meter T11 taking place, women's 1,500 meter heats, it's been very busy that morning. But again, all of this is to ensure that we have a level playing field.
So there goes the bell. Well out in front is Joanna Mazur, with Hay Shan in second spot, and then go back another 15 meters or so, and it's Mamani who's making up a bit of ground here. Raju in fourth spot, the former Asian Games champion for India from Chikman Gower, along with her guide Khan Tabrez. It's Joanna Mazur leading them out alongside her guide Michał Stavitsky, and it's great teamwork between athlete and guide all the way through, particularly if you've had the partnership for a long time, and these two certainly have. Hey Shan silver behind Mazur in the 1,500 meters 5 years ago now in Dubai. That was a nice championships, good venue, good crowds at that. Smashing crowds here already for a morning session. Really gratifying to see. And they'll hear the crowds, they'll hear the noise going all the way around the stadium. That's a welcome thing as well. With the right ear, just to hear the commotion, hear the support. And Joanna Mazur has all the support she needs. She has the pace, she has to win here, and she is on the way through. At times, for her and for here meeting us, Joanna Mazur wins it. 5 minutes, almost exactly. Hay in second place, Mamani's into the final in third. And if Raju gets a bit of a trot on, maybe a chance in fourth. I doubt it though, because of Mamani hopping into the queue. So here comes Rachita Raju, who might just be the 5th fastest overall. Season's best for Mazur. Hay in second place, they're both into the final. 4:59.54 the winning time. And Mamani, she did break her lifetime best by 13 seconds. She's into the final. And Raju has taken 2 seconds, 1.5 off her lifetime best as well.
That was a great race for Mazur and her partner. Now, she started off quite tough, quite a tough pace, and then earned herself the right to tone it down. But what really impressed me was the action happening with Mamani behind her. The guide set out. He had a watch in his hand. He was watching that pace, and she came away with a 5:02 PB and a spot in the final.
Very professionally done by Joanna Mazur. Seeking gold again. It's looking like it is going to be a very, very good final. Going through the catacombs of the Universiade Stadium, Mazur winning at 4:59.54. Heading to the final as well for China, 5 minutes, 0.15. And the lifetime best for Neri Mamani of Peru. She's in the final as well. Good times. There's not much between those 6 who will be in the final. Lifetime best for Raju as well, and we really, really have to praise her for that. Not much movement, by the way, in the women's long jump T20. Cassiano still out in front on 5:80. Oliveira in second place, but here is the perennial eternal champion in the women's shot put at 41. Rawa Talili is on the way, looking for another gold to add to her shed full of them.
Yeah, women's shot put F41 for shorter stature. You can see half of her in the background there. Rawa Talili, season best of 9:93. A lady who always knows what she's doing. She only knows one colour as well, and that is gold. 6 Paralympic game golds, 9 World Championship golds in total. That's over at the shot put and the discus. Made a senior debut back in 2006. And that one there is way out. Past that 9-metre mark for Rawa Talili. So 9:93 with that season best opener. Foul with a second attempt. This, number 3. So it's over the 9-metre mark. She didn't look too happy there when she walked away, but she's 5 centimetres out in front at the moment. Kakamova of Uzbekistan. Second position. 9:93, a foul for a second. So we wait. Number 3. Quite some record for Rawa Talili. 15 world and Paralympic golds. Well, no improvement, 9:76 for the Tunisian. 10:55, that lifetime best and world record she set at the Paralympic Games in Tokyo back in 2021. The championship record she set in Dubai in 2019 of 10:33. So she's quite capable of going way out over that 10-metre mark. We'll come back to that one because we're back to the track for the final events on the track in the morning session. We have the men's and women's 100 metres T72. The men's is up first, also known as race running. And this is a field of 5 who take part in this one. So Croman, Casagni, Podnovas, Marquez Krieger and Podobayevis The 5 to go. No Gavin Drysdale, by the way, the reigning champion and the former European champion. He's not here. Great Britain have chose not to send both him and Rafael Solomon, who took silver last year. He's not here as well. So they've decided to
Men's 100 meter.
go in a different direction with their qualification and way they take people through to
From Denmark,
Paris 2024. So those two I just mentioned have been at the forefront of this discipline. Now Denmark have also been at the forefront. Lasse Krohmann, who took silver in 2021 and bronze back in 2018. Calzagni of Italy holds the world record, which he set in Jesolo just earlier this year, only a couple of months back. And Novus of Lithuania, lifetime best of 18:22 for him. Vinicius Marquez Krieger Quintino, he took bronze last year in Paris. Podobaevits, the second of the Lithuanians, his lifetime best of 17:52. So the gold and silver medalists from Paris last year aren't here. The bronze medalist will go in lane 6, Marquez Krieger. Men's 100 metres T72 final. 5 to go. And away they get. Well, that was a strange old one, wasn't it? Just being explained what happened. I think the official down there is saying that someone had their wheel up in the air, so they've blasted the gun and decided to go again, unless it was a misfire. We certainly look like we're set. Now Denmark have been, it's Denmark and Great Britain who have been at the forefront when it comes to this particular category and style of racing.
We're now starting. We're ready to start the race. Have a good race, guys.
So you can hear there, we're ready to start the race. We say it was a false start by the starter on that one. No card given to them though.
On your marks.
This time we are away and getting away really well. It's Calzagni, the world record holder, 15.80, that world record, and he is absolutely flying out in front. Podobaevits of Lithuania is just being overtaken on the inside by Marquez Krieger, but it is the Italian who takes the victory there, and a new world record as well for the Italian. So he's broken his own mark, has Calzagni. He's into a quite stiff headwind as well, minus 2.3 meters per second he's into, but he has absolutely blasted it. 15.39, beating his former record he set just a couple of months ago, which was 15.80. So that is 0.41 of a second he has taken off his own mark into a massive headwind. So Calzagni takes the gold medal, 17.54 for Marquez Krieger Quintino of Brazil with the silver, and Podobaevits with a season best, 17.82 for him. But the world record, 15.39 for Carlo Fabio Marcello Calzagni of Italy, into a massive headwind. It is a massive result. He absolutely flew out the starting gate step.
Our first world record of the champs, and a 2-second margin in 100 meters is huge. Now, frame running is for athletes who don't have the balance and coordination to run without a frame, but with the right equipment, we can see just how fast and how powerful they are. Now, as you said, this is not yet in the Paralympic program. We won't be seeing this event in Paris. And actually, there are 20 men from 10 different countries who made the minimum entry standard of 24 seconds. But as you say, many of the top athletes aren't here because countries have prioritized athletes who can earn a selection spot. And it's good. Part of the process of getting into the Paralympic program is showing that it is a global event. And this is a great statement from this event to show it is getting more and more competitive every single championships.
And you might be able to sense from my voice there that minus 2.3 as a headwind as well, setting a record and taking, 0.41 of a second off his own world record that he set back in March of this year in his own country is, well, that's an outstanding effort. And these people who have turned up this morning have seen something quite outstanding. Now, we saw in the 5,000 metres T11, we saw a world record there. We've seen this world record. So people talked about world records boring at these championships, and we see them at every championships that we go to. There's been 2 already on this opening morning on the track. Quite outstanding there from Kalsagni to absolutely smash his own record.
We get a great shot there of the equipment as well. And actually, one of the challenges, particularly of frame racing, is keeping those frames within the lanes. They're quite wide. I mean, 95 centimeters at a maximum. The lanes themselves are 120 centimeters, and so just steering at that speed can be one of the challenges as well.
Yeah, Kalsagni there has that oxygen mask that you see just there that he uses as well. So
extra weight.
Extra weight indeed. World record though, 15.39 for the man from Italy, Marquez Krieger-Contino with the silver, and Podobaevas of Lithuania picks up the bronze medal.
So the women's final coming up next. Maria Strong setting the world record for Australia. Last year in Paris, she is not competing in this year. And previous world champion Kaylee Hago of Great Britain. As Steph was saying, Britain have not sent their frame runners, their race runners to Kobe, unfortunately. They and Denmark had led the way in the sport for so long. Denmark have got 3 in this final. Norway, United States, Poland and Spain represented as well. Andruszkiewicz of Poland with silver last year in Paris, and Judith Totoza with the bronze. Finished behind Maria Strong. So this category, frame running, race running, not in the Paralympic Games just yet, is for athletes who are much more severely impaired and who would not otherwise be able to compete in any of the other categories. We start off with, in lane 2 for Denmark, 7th in last year's 100 metres final, Christina Hagen Jacobsen, who's 19 years old. In lane 3 for Norway, 7th in the European final 3 years ago in Budgosh, from Stadsnes, Sophie Janssen. In lane 4 for the United States, 8th in the 100 metres final in Paris last year at the Worlds, Sires Grooms. Lane 5 for Denmark, 4th in the last 2 World Championship finals and 5th in the last 2 Europeans, is Carla Rysum. In lane 6 for Poland, silver in the 100 metres final in Paris last year, Magdalena Andruszkiewicz. In lane 7 for Spain, bronze in the 100 metres final in last year's World Championships in Paris, Judith Totoza. And in lane 8 for Denmark, bronze, the World Championships in Dubai in 2019, 6th in Bydgoszcz in the Euros in 2021, Andrea Overgaard. Sophie Janssen in 3. She's also been in wheelchair rugby in her time. She was the only woman on the Sandsnes team, originally from Voss. She's in 3, Jacobsen in 2, Janssen 3, Grooms 4, Rysum 5, Andruszkiewicz 6, Totoza 7, Overgaard 8, and underway in this women's 100 metres final. A great start from Andruszkiewicz. Rysum coming up with it. Andruszkiewicz in the lead for Poland. Silver last year, she's on her way to gold now. Totoza in 2nd. Andruszkiewicz will take the gold for Poland. Totoza in 2nd. And it looks like it's Grooms moving up in 3rd for the United States. A brilliant time, 17.50, a European record for Magdalena Andruszkiewicz. 17.51, Totoza a lifetime best in 2nd. 18.53 for Spain. It was tight for 3rd. It was Grooms who did get it. 19.02. Rysum just edged out in 4th place. But what a win, and what a start this was by Andruszkiewicz as well. Took a while for it to get into her stride, but once she did, she kept it going very well. Now watch Totoza in the Spanish colours here in lane 7, and Grooms in 4, who'd moved up really well. Rysum was 2nd for a long time, fell back into 4th spot, and then Totoza gets the silver behind Andruszkiewicz for Poland.
It was fascinating to see how the velocities of all the women changed in this race, and the key really is not necessarily at the start, but having that top-end speed. And Andruszkiewicz, she came in as a favorite with Maria Strong not here, but hey, you can only beat who's here, and psychologically that is a very different experience. But I am so happy for Grooms. We saw her last year coming 8th after she lost her shoe, and she was so devastated. Tortosa there celebrating an absolutely brilliant personal best, 18:53. What a race we were treated to here.
Yes, Sayers Grooms has got the result that she wanted, and the European record for Magdalena Andruszkiewicz as well, 17.51. Andruszkiewicz gets the gold for Poland, 17.51. Tortosa the silver for Spain, 18.53. Sayers Grooms the bronze for the United States, 19.02. Risen 4, Overgaard 5. Jakobsen 6. Denmark 4, 5 and 6. Great result though for Sayers Grooms from Gainesville in Florida, and she's still only 18.
Someone who might not be 18 but throws like one is this lady, Rawa Talili. She leads, as you'd expect, in the shot put. Women's F41 final, 15 Paralympic and World Championship golds across the shot put and discus for this quite extraordinary athlete. 9.93 with her first. Well, that one there, she's improved. 10.04 season best for her, and she extends her lead and goes over the 10-metre mark, the first of those in this to go over that 10-metre mark. Kakamova is in second, 9.88. Butraga Arica, 9.21 in third position. So both, well, all of the athletes have 2 left to go. It is Lopez Marquez of Ecuador who starts that out with her penultimate throw. 7.45 with her 4th one. Took silver back in 2020 and bronze last year in Paris. Rodrigo Ariza, who's looking strong in third position. But Rawa Talili, there's just no stopping her, is there? Just doesn't know anything but winning gold medals. So Elgara of Morocco up next, her lifetime best of 8.49. And she's going to have to absolutely smash that if she's going to get up into the medal positions. 7.59 so far with her opener. Well, she'd get a gold medal for effort. It's a white flag, so it is a mark. Ibtisama Elgara, 7.59, 6.49, 6.47 and 7.05. That 7.59 lifetime best. Lifetime best before that was 7.33. So she added 27 centimetres to that lifetime best, or 24 centimetres, I should say. My maths correct.
Take care.
So we're still waiting for that last mark there to come up. 7.59 7:59 with that opener.
We were watching the seated throws earlier, and we could see how the women had to generate all of that force just with their upper body. And the key to a shot put is you want to actually get the shot moving before you put it, which is why they use that, well, in this case, a linear approach. You can use the rotational approach as well, but you get the shot put up to speed before you have that final explosion. And actually, I would argue the yell, it's actually, it helps technically, because it really helps to tighten your core as you release it.
8:05 for Hayat El Ghurra. 'Yusra Karim, 8:88 with her fourth effort. She's been over the 8-metre mark for 2 of the other 3. One was a foul. And that one there is also a foul. So she has 2 illegal throws and 3 legal ones, but it leaves her in 5th position at the moment. Now Ben Kolob, who was a silver medalist in 2016 in Rio and a bronze medalist in London in 2017, will be next up. Of Tunisia. So she's 10 centimetres out of the medals at the moment, is Samar Ben Kolob. So Tunisia have a gold at present. Can they get into a bronze or silver? Well, that's over the 9-metre mark, and it's probably not too dissimilar to the 9:11, which she threw in her last attempt. Maybe a little bit less. Or a little bit more. 9:15. Stays in 4th position though, so now has 6 centimetres still to make up on the lady who's in front of her, and Butraga Aritza of Colombia. The last 2 throws have been fouls. So she started with a 9:21, then 9:19, and then has 2 red flags after that. Well, that's right down the 9-metre mark. Just saw the tape move. Patrigo Araza, who was she's been a medalist in the past. She just can't quite get up to the level of Raul Talili, though. So 9:21 she stays out. That one there is also a foul as well, so 3 red flags in a row.
You could just sense the frustration she was feeling after that jump, and I remember actually I was kind of excited for this event, because coming in, Butraga Aritza, she had the season's best coming in. I thought, could this really be the time that Talila finally doesn't get the gold? But of course, Talila is the one sitting in the lead at the moment.
Yeah, by quite some distance as well. Kakamova of Uzbekistan. .988 with her opening throw, which was a new lifetime best for her. She just can't quite get up to that 10-metre mark. So 9:42. And Talili will go next, probably knowing that she can throw everything into this, because at this stage it doesn't look like she's going to be caught. So that world record mark that she set back in Tokyo at the Paralympics in 2021, it's 10:55. The championship record she set in Dubai a couple of years before that, which is 10:33. So nowhere up near those marks at the moment. And that is out of the quadrant. So no worrying about that one. Won't trouble the scorers at all. So her second red flag out of 5 throws. Doesn't matter though, when you've thrown over 10 metres, you're in the lead.
By the way, last time at a World Championship, she did not claim a gold in the shot put. 2006, Assen in the Netherlands. Last time she didn't win a gold in the shot with the discus. 2011 in any competition. And London 2012 when she won silver in the discus. It's a tight margin. Kakamova, just as she was last year in Paris, is just shuffling away closer and closer towards the long-time permanent champ. It's only 16 centimeters. Women's long jump, by the way, has finished without any further change in the standings. We were watching that quite heavily earlier on. No advance from anybody in the final round. We'll see if it comes to Lopez here of Ecuador. 7:53, her best to date. 7th in this last year in Paris. This is just shy of a season's best of 7:56. It's only 3 centimeters. It would give her something to leave with. It's beyond 7 meters anyway. It's around 7.5. And it's a good consistent set of marks, actually. It's rising all the time. Ibtisame El Garar with a lifetime best. That was 7:57, by the way, for Lopez. So that is the season's best. That's her best of the competition. So she rose all the time. Ibtisame El Garar now. Lifetime best in the 5th round of 7:75. She's only just turned 20. That is not going to be an improvement, but she's had a really, really good morning of it.
You can just see there that, one, you want to get the speed into that shot put through this linear action here, but it looked as though the putt just slipped out of her hand. Grip so important, and actually really heavily regulated. She just jumped out of the front of the circle there so that it's a foul. You actually, for example, can't have more than 2 fingers taped together. The shot put fact for you.
And there's Hayat El Garar of Morocco. 8:13 in the opening round. She was 6th then, she is 6th now. That is beyond 7 meters and knocking towards 8. It doesn't look as if she is going to have a major improvement either. From a brilliant athletics family, Najat and Lila, her sisters, are Paralympic medalists in her own right. Bronze in the discus for her in 2021 in Tokyo. That was a foul for Ibtisame El Garar earlier. There's no doubting about the woman in pole position right now. Tunisia and Morocco, as North African nations, have got 5 of the top 7 here. And Yusra Karim, 888 in 5th spot right now. She's about 30 centimeters off the medals. She's had a whole series of red flags as well, 2 of the last 3 before this effort. Karim was 6th in the shot last year in Paris. She's improved by 1. And it stays that way because it is a foul and the medals will be decided now. Jean-Marie Benkelev is only 6 centimeters off Petrago. But Lily on the brink of a 10th world title. So Benkelev needs an extra 6 centimeters to get into bronze. Having finished 5th last year in the World Championships, that is heading out towards 10 meters. Benkelev has got it out beyond 10 meters. We're close to it. Maybe it's Just shy. It's a good effort anyway. It's beyond 9 at the very least. 9:15 matches a previous mark. Well, a little bit more and the medals would have been hers.
Well, that was a great final competitive throw when you know that you are just 6 centimeters off the podium. Now, Petraga Aritza will be feeling a little bit more comfortable, but she has not been happy with her series so far. She came in with a season's best of 9:90. She knows she is still capable of more than that 9:21.
Well, here's our current bronze medalist. She's had 3 fouls in a row before this, and that one is under the 9-meter mark. So there won't be an improvement. So she remains with that bronze medal. And it's a 4th foul as well. So it won't make any difference. And we'll have now one more go for Kakamova to see if she can bring down Tunisia's great Rawa Talili. So Talili, that perennial gold medalist, as I mentioned, 15 gold medals in both shot put and discus in Paralympic Games and World Championships. This is who Kakamova is trying to chase down, and that one is, well, it's well over the 9-meter mark. It's heading out towards that 10-meter mark, so couldn't ask for much more when she's put everything into it. So 9:88 with that lifetime best. 10:04 is that season best mark that she's chasing for Rawa Talili.
Just 22 years old and already chasing at that 10-meter barrier. That really is the mark in this event, and at the moment, Talili is the only one who can consistently deliver above that mark.
Yeah, so 9:78 for Kakamova. So 10 centimetres short of what she had said earlier with that 9:88 with her opening throw. She'll finish with the silver medal. Well, the Uzbekistan athlete, but here is the gold medalist. How many times have we said that in the past? Rawa Talili, women's shot put, F41 gold medalist. Before she's even thrown this, she'll put everything into it and try and go further than that 10:04. World record of 10:55. She has a championship record of 10:33. She's been given a white flag. It's out around that 10-meter mark. I don't think she'll be breaking a championship record. She may well get past the 10:04 though. Whichever way you look at it, she's going to take the gold medal. So her season best was 9:80 heading into this. 10:15, she has improved that season best by 11 centimetres. She claims yet another gold medal. She retains that title she won in Paris last year. The flags come flying out, and she'll celebrate, as we've seen in so many stadiums before. Rawa Talili is the world champion in the F41 women's shot put category yet again.
I mean, she makes it look so easy, but as Will was saying, she's been around for a long time. 2006 was the last time she did not win this event, but it just shows excellence takes time. It takes time to earn the right to dance like that.
Well, it's a 10th World Championship gold across both the shot put and discus. She is an extremely talented athlete. She's strong, she's hard-working, and she reaps the rewards. And what a way to bring to an end this morning session. We've had 2 world records on the track. Yeltsin Jaks in the men's 5,000 metres T11. And we also had a world record in the T72 category a little bit later through Calzagni of Italy, breaking his own world record that he set back in March. But there is a season best for the, yet again, world champion, Rawa Talili of Tunisia. 10.15, a season best. She hadn't thrown over 10 metres heading into this.
Thank you so much.
She's ramping up her preparations ahead of Paris 2024 with another gold medal here at the World Championships. 2 within 10 months. Just watch this power. Two fouls in amongst it. She went 9.93, a foul, 9.76, 10.04, a foul, and 10.15 with her last, which was her best.
Yeah, and it's a 10th world title as well now, a 16th global crown.
Raul Talili with that season best, just confirming another gold for her. How many times we've said that? Kakamova, 9.88 with a lifetime best for her. And Bedraga Aritza picks up the bronze medal with 9.21. So close for Ben Collab. She missed out by 6 centimetres.
Lovely crowds here for the opening morning in Kobe at the Universiade Memorial Stadium. And a lot of them have been thrilled by the women's long jump. T20, Zelena Cassiano has clinched it for Brazil. We saw a winning leap, 5 meters 80. Deborah Oliveira, the silver for Brazil, 5.54. Fatma Altin, the bronze for Turkey, 5.43, and count back ahead of Jordania Felix of Brazil, who had the same mark, but the second longest attempt got her onto the podium. And Mauritius with a growing team. Ashley Telvave in 14th spots, but good to see her here. So Zelena Cassiano here. Leading from the start, 5.54 the opening attempt. And a fourth effort going out towards 6 meters. Brilliant consistency. 5 meters 80. And nobody coming close to that. That's the gold for Brazil. And the silver as well through Deborah Oliveira de Lima. Zelena Cassiano takes the gold for Brazil. And Deborah Oliveira de Lima will be alongside her. They'll be singing along the same anthem. Fatma Altin in 3rd for Turkey. Reyhan Tazdelen, her teammate, in 5th spot. And Jordania Felix Barbosa, her second longest attempt was 5.31, and Altin twice went out to 5.37, had a 5.33, a 5.34 as well. Unstoppable. So qualification happening in the women's discus F57. This is a seated category. This is not a final. It's the best 4 who are going through. And it's Miroslava Obrova of Czechia, the Czech Republic, who leads. And this is Sultana Karamdia of Greece. Who's throwing now? It's only 3 attempts in this. Aleta Fakoa of Cameroon doesn't start in it, so there's only 5 now competing. This is qualification. There are no medals attached in this. We don't normally cover the qualification events in the field because we'll normally see a lot of them anyway in the final, but we'll give you this as a little bonus. So Sultana Karamida, she is 34. It's not even midday yet, by the way, in Kobe. Brother going out to 17.98. also from Mongolia. Mia Dagmar Tumersurin. Ortiz of Mexico and Nguyen Thi Hai of Vietnam. There's Ortiz of Mexico. So it's a seated throwing event. These are the strongest physically of the seated throwers, the wheelchair throwers, if you like. There being qualification, there's only 3 throws instead of 6, and they all come at once. This was not from memory competed for last time out, although we do have quite a few of the seated categories that are sometimes bunched together. So Sultana Karamida. It's a decent throw, beyond 20 meters, that is. And, well, I'll tell you what, if she gets that, she's in the final. No doubt about it, because she's further than Brova, and there's only 3 more to go, and it's the top 4 going through. I'm not actually sure why this isn't a straight final, but I'm sure there's a really, really good reason. She's the javelin F57 European record holder. She's got that to aim for as well, from Miasthenia Gravis and the PAUK Club, a brilliant multi-club organisation, multi-sport. Just seeing practice throws at the moment from Karamida. She's an F56, by the way, being bunched in among the F57s. That's 20 meters 52, and she is definitely into the final. There's no doubt about that. She's into the final. She doesn't need any more marks if she doesn't want any.
Second try. Second.
So the field finals that we have already seen this morning. Erica Castano taking the women's discus F55. Gold in that for Colombia. Zelaida Cassiano de Silva leading a Brazil 1-2 in the women's long jump T20. And Rawat Lily with her 10th world title in the women's shot put in F41 athletes of short stature. Karamida for now is happily continuing on. She can get, basically these are practice throws for her. This is 20 meters, 0.50, only 2 centimeters off her earlier effort. And she's got 1 more to go. She'll have the javelin as well to look forward to, but she's a really, really cracking campaigner in her own right. And that, again, is beyond 20 minutes. I think that's probably the shortest of the lot. She's a really popular athlete. Back home in Greece. Just beyond 20, so about 20 centimeters on for the PAUK club thrower. She's with the POW club and she is a thrower. And she's on her way into the final. There's still 3 to go in this. Well, they've really enjoyed their day, and they've all come nice and coordinated too. And wearing white, it's always smart. Deflect the heat off. Action resumes, by the way, in 5 hours' time for the evening session, and that starts with the women's club throw. F32, the men's long jump T11, the men's shot put F55, and F37. They'll be on at separate times. So 5:30 Japan time, 5.5 hours from now, we're just about to hit midday. Heats in the women's 400 meters T11, in the men's T38 and men's T37. Those are the coordination impairment events. T11 is complete visual impairment. And we'll have the semi-finals in the men's 100 meters T12 and finals in the men's 100 T47. We saw that earlier. And the women's 400 meters T37, which is second strongest, or second least impaired, if you like, of the coordination impairment categories. Karamida is into the final, and we still have 3 to go. And we're doing the rest of all this, are we, Tolson? I think we are, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Oh, lovely. Well, this is the last event in the morning, and there are lots of fans over in that area in this lovely Universiade Memorial Stadium. It was the 1985 World University Games. I remember the 1991 one very well. It was on in Sheffield. Sonny O'Sullivan picked up a gold in it, famously. A few notable ones since then. Naples, what's now the Diego Maradona Stadium held the athletics in 2019. This is where the strapping out and strapping in comes into play. And if you're staying with us all the way through, thank you very much for doing so. Sessions are actually quite short, especially the evening sessions. They start at 5 and they're usually done by about 7:30, or at least on the track they'll be done at 7:30. Though maybe a bit of field for a little bit after. Well, Mia Dagmar Tumursurin of Mongolia, she's a 20-meter thrower as well in her own right, and if she gets her first throw in, they are entitled to just wrap up then if they want, because she'll be into the final.
You kind of feel like they put all that effort into getting the chair done, to getting there's 2 separate things that have to be done. You have to get the chair strapped in, and then the athlete themselves have to get strapped in. So I feel by that point, you may as well take all 3 throws. And this is a qualification, not a final.
I often think that the actual people who do the chairs and strap them in should get a medal as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. This was a straight final last year, and there were 11 in it, the F57. And they're running qualifications this time. Unless, of course, these are the lower markers. We already have a whole load who've already pre-qualified for the final, which I will try and endeavour to look up for you now.
I think it could be related. So before, one of the really important things about this championships is that there was classification that happened in the days beforehand, and there's only so many opportunities for athletes to be classified and observed. So I do wonder if perhaps it is related to that process.
So we're going to see them all again. Final is on tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. You can join us for that. It's 9 a.m. start every single morning, which is at 2 a.m. Central European and Central African time, 1 a.m. UK, Ireland, Portugal, 8 p.m. Eastern time, USA and Canada. other time zones are available. So we've got 7 finals tonight, and 5 of them are in the field, 2 on the track. Men's 100 T47, women's 400 T37. And there are quite a lot who are already waiting in that final tomorrow, I now see. This is to bolster up the field. This is the results of the women's discus F55. Erica Castano with the gold for Colombia at 26.88. Dong Fei Jia, the silver for China, 26.37. And Rosa Guerrero with the bronze for Mexico, 25.80. Here is Rosa Guerrero. Season's best going into this was 24.61. This added a kilo onto it. The discus champion from last year dethroned Dong Fei Jia, the reigning 2-in-a-row Paralympic champion, Rio and then Tokyo. Strong throw by Dong, but not enough to overtake Erica Castano, the Pan Am champion, the 2019 world champion, now takes it again in 2024, 26.88, the winning mark. Victory for Erica Castano, lifetime best as well, 26.88. Dong Fei Jia, the Paralympic champion, looking to regain that crown at the Stade de France in Paris later on this year. Silver for China, and Rosa Guerrero the bronze for Mexico. Men's javelin F57, the qualification has happened, and Tao of Vietnam, Vikram of India, Gedan of Cuba, and Ignus Labanovs of Latvia are all in the final to join the rest tomorrow.
Raul Talili has picked up her 16th World or Paralympic Championship gold medal with a throw of 10.15, a season best for her. Her best, she stayed to last, and Kakamova with that silver medal just couldn't catch her. So Patricia Aritza picked up the bronze medal, 9.21 for her. It was a real effort to try and get anywhere near the lady out in front, who's a perennial winner and gold medalist. Kakamova did her best with a new lifetime best of 9.88. She went ever so close to that 10-metre mark. Couldn't quite get there. But the lady who we're about to see, Talili, got there yet again. Hadn't thrown over 10 metres leading in to these championships. She did it a couple of times here. She's the world and championship record holder. She's defended that title she won in Paris last year, heading into the Paralympic Games later this year. She's done it yet again. So Talili with the gold, Kakamova silver, and Petraga Arica takes the bronze medal. Ben Kolob just missing out by 6 centimetres on a medal.
Well, the Yellow Caps have had a fun day here. It looks like they're still having a fun day here on the back straight. Really, really good crowd here. It's been school kids morning, and they've been very welcome to be here. I have to say, even though they're closing straight here with really, really nice crowds. Estimate around 6,000 or 7,000 we have had here today. So that's the end of the opening session here. So long as there are successful throws in the rest of the discus, they're on the way through, and we'll see you tonight, 5 o'clock. Good night.
Run it up.